Hello, hello, what's going on? Zara, I'm out in here early. What is happening? Thank you so much for jumping in. How are you doing today? I know you were in Nate's stream earlier today. So today I started working. Yesterday we finished my website, or at least one page on my site. We finished the now page, which is nice. Hey, doing good here. Just wrapped up my D&D. Ah, hell yeah! You're playing D&D. I love it. I've never played a D&D campaign. I've always wanted to. And then I think every time I was about to start jump in someone's campaign, um, something happened where I wasn't able to, or the group fell apart or something. So, um, I had someone actually offer to me to join in their virtual game. I might do that if I have the time. I just have to look at my schedule and see what's what. But very cool. What class are you playing in D&D? As for myself, I'm doing well. It was a busy day with work today. I got to have a snow day, so that was nice. But yeah, my brain is just kind of like out of it. I don't know. I didn't have much caffeine today, so that could be also be it. Mm. You are a gem then, if you're a DM. I mean, part of me is convinced. I'm like GMs are only meant for like only certain kinds of people should be GMs, um, because it's not for everyone. Very cool though. Yeah, I think if you want to do it, like it sucks when you're kind of like forced into it because no one else is willing to. Um, but yeah, so wow, this is not picking up Chrome. Why not? One second here. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so last night we went through and put together my now page, which is exciting that that's done. Again, it wasn't anything big, but there was a lot of good discussions happening last night, so that was exciting. Um, so happy that that is done. And then we did a couple of other small tweaks on the navigation for my website, the nav sizing, as well as the homepage down here. Added the link to my now page here, and added the social icons. That was Sarah Shook's idea, which I really like. I think it balances it out nicely. So that's exciting. And then actually, if we see it is responsive, so these are just two columns until we get to small enough where it's going to be one column right there. So that's done. Today, when I had some free time from work, though, I I started messing with a uses page, because I have it on my Twitch and I also wanted it on my site. I've always liked the idea of them. I know West Boss a few years ago like sort of just curated a page with a bunch of people's stuff, and someone else. Hey Chris, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you jumping in here, man. Um, yeah. So actually, I'll go back and actually here if I do that, there you go. Or we could do this. That works too. Okay. Um, so uses pages. So if I go to my Twitch channel real quick, and you all can see it if you go to the about um, section. Let's mute that because no one needs to hear me twice. So I put in panels today. That's not the important part. This here, I don't. It's fine that it's here, right? But like I said, I've always liked having it on my site. Um, so that's what I still started building out today. But I don't want just hardware. I also want software. But if we again, we're just gonna check out Brad Garapi. Excuse me. That soda's come back up on me. Oh, I'm in my not normal browser. That's why. All right, so we go to Brad's page again. Not trying to copy everything, but he just has examples of the pages I'm looking to build. He follows a bit more of a I don't want to say blog. He's got his list here of things. But I like this. I think it's a nice little thing. So I wanted to include it. Yeah, I just think it's cool. I just think it's cool. But notice he's mainly all on hardware. He's got his laptop. accessories for his desk, his streaming setup. Um, he does have software here, but where he's just got a list of software, I am gonna follow something closer to what Braden has. If you don't know Braden Coyer, he and his brother actually are two developers. Um, and I met them both down in Texas at that, and they were just super chill guys, down to earth. Yeah, Braden's really cool, and I really like his website. He calls it a blog folio, which I think is also pretty creative. Um, but he's got a toolbox page, which I like, and so I am gonna be looking to do something similar on my users page, just with software that I use regularly. Again, just taking inspiration from others, seeing what they have, and picking it apart. Yeah. Devin, yeah, Devin's a good dude. I like him a lot too. Front end devs always have nice websites. I That's not true. But a lot of them do. Yes, obviously. I do feel like I've seen a fair share of front end devs with websites that aren't too good looking, and I kind of always had to like remind myself like not everyone has an eye for design. Yeah, I'll show that off too, actually, Sarah. So I'm gonna be doing something similar to this, and I started working on it earlier. Sarah, Schick Codes helped me out because SVGs were not working well with Astro. But if we go back to his homepage, we'll see he's got this nice bento box thing here, which is kind of it's a design trend going on right now. And these are his connections of people he's met. So there's our Shook Codes right there, and a bunch of other great people. Obviously, Danny Thompson, James Quick, Clark Sells, the organizer of that. Steezy, what's going on, dude? Thank you for jumping in here. Shashi, Brian, we talked about, who jumped in streaming last night. Lots of great people here, and I was fortunate enough to meet most everyone on this list as well. But then he's got this list of people he'd like to meet someday, and I think this is really, really cool. Really cool way to keep track of who you have and have not met, but also I'm sure it's pretty easy for him to just change a class and move them up here, and that's set. But just really cool, really well designed and thought out. And I don't know, I'm sure he's using some sort of API to grab their profile images, whether it's from Twitter or whatever. Yeah, so Braden's got a really nice website. I'll actually throw the link in chat if you want to check it out. I'm a big fan of it. There's things that he said he wants to fix on it. But yeah, so that's our inspiration for today. And I guess actually I will leave this open if I need it. I don't think I really do. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to be doing it a little bit different than Braden, though. So I guess that brings me to my site. So why don't we get things going here? By the way, is the music on okay volume? Is it too loud or not loud enough? You let me know. It's better today. Good, good, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I don't know. Something funky happened when I got the first when Chris followed me. Just that sound notification like threw everything through. So that was kind of bizarre to me. Yeah, look at that gem of a guy, Mister, not even Mister, Diamond Boy over there. What's happening, dude? It's late over by you. Go to bed. That's the point. I want to be in your feed every day. Where are we? So we've got our uses page. Let's open this up on the dev server. Okay. So this isn't live right now. Today I am building a uses page, Diamond. So I have this on my stream, and I have the hardware section that's pretty much taken care of. I might do some layout changes because it's just a long list. But down here, I'm going to have the software kind of things. And so I'll show you since you just joined. But Braden Coyer, another great developer, has this here. And I like the layout. I like the look. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. But I do like it a lot. And that's where I got the idea to add these softwares. So things that I use normally, for sure. I mean, I'm also an Arc and a Raycast user, and Notion, and VS Code, and one password. Yeah, so it'll be fun. I think just something easy and basic, but it'll just add some more there for you. Or, and for me, right? It's just something fun to build, and that's what I'm enjoying doing. And SVGs. So Shook Codes, like I said, helped me with SVGs because they weren't really behaving too nicely in Astro. Dude, Steezy or James, I do appreciate it, dude. That's okay. You're here for the ride. You could be like Bart. You know, that's he's just. I don't know. I just think they're neat. Yeah, that's you right now, and I appreciate it. So you can see I started it down here, and this is just a responsive grid. We go from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, obviously on mobile, and we'll be going from there. But the SVGs weren't working nicely. I was trying to use inline SVGs. I want to get away from any icons I have on my site right now are being fed in via Font Awesome's CDN and their icons. It's great, don't get me wrong, but that's a lot of network load that I'd like to avoid, and it causes layout shift, content shift, and if I could do something that's just obviously more performant, I'd rather that. And that goes for these as well. So again, all with time. But so the inline, I was just copying and pasting them right down here. So let me explain the code, and I'll bump it up a little for you. Can you see that all right? Actually, here we'll even do this so I can make it even bigger. So here we have the section wrapper. I made this a component just so I could put whatever classes and stylings I wanted to, such as the max width, my flow class I went over yesterday, things like that. We've got the section header followed by a quick little paragraph, and then just a div containing all the grids, and then each of these is going to be a separate div. I'm sure I could do it to be something else. I'm not using Storyblock for this. I suppose I could realistically. This whole page could probably just be, and then I could just feed it through there. But right now I'm just hard coding it in. That's a good idea though, to use a CMS for it. I have to explore more. I know Storyblock offers a lot of literal components and everything. Rachel, hello. Thank you for jumping in here, and first time chatter over here. I will say I got raided last night after Nate's codes stopped streaming, and it got me pretty close to partner already, I think it was, or affiliate. I couldn't remember, and I was like, that's ridiculous. And he had a wild stream today. For that first section, can you use JSON inside Astro? In a sense, you just put the H2, H3 as JSON fields and you map. Yeah, I very much can. This was me just today getting it all down, and then I'm gonna go through and refine it. I like the idea of making it functional and then make it pretty, and that goes for code. That goes for, I mean, just about anything, right? I'll never be able to make myself pretty, but my code at least I can work on. And that talks about, like yesterday I talked about all the refinements in my website's code that I want to make. So that'll be with due time. I mean, that's even something like my navigation. Yeah, Nate streams. He streamed a lot today. I don't know. I don't know if he sticks to his schedule exactly, but he's trying to really just do it, I think, full time. So he was on for pretty long today. It was good. And he was up to there with a lot of viewers because people just kept rating him. I think he was outlasting most people, so that was pretty cool. Here, we can get Nate's channel in here. There you go. Yeah, go shoot him a follow. And Rachel, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. So yeah, I'll likely end up just mapping over this, feeding it props, and yeah. So my idea here is actually kind of inspired by Apple as well. And actually, part of my site's design was kind of just inspired by Apple in some way, shape, or form. But and I'm trying to see if I can find a good example of this. I didn't come prepared. I just know it follows a design language of theirs that I've seen before. Let's see. I haven't watched people code on stream. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I think that when I have to like really dig down and get more complex things done, I'll probably have to just ignore chat for 30 minutes at a time, which is fine, right? Like, I think part of my idea with this is almost like a work with me kind of thing. I don't know if you've seen those videos, or study with me is like another popular thing where people literally just like, sit down and work with me. So, yeah, I just think it's neat. Of course, I can't see or find an example here. I guess this is kind of an example. So you see here they've got the product name, a little blurb about it, a less important blurb up here, the picture of it, and then excuse me, more info down here. So Arc is free. Arc is free right now. I didn't get to watch their latest update, but they are gonna have to make some money somehow, and I'm not sure what they're doing with that. Like I said, they just put out something I think for their Arc 2.0, or whatever the next chapter in Arc is. I like it. The first time I tried using it, it did not go over well with me. I don't know what it was. It just was not doing it. And then it was probably like 3 to 4 months later. I said, let me give it a shot again, because I did like it, and I like the idea of using something, even though it's built on Chromium. I liked not using something that was Chrome. And there's nothing wrong with Firefox. Safari, for better and for worse. It has tight integration naturally with the Apple ecosystem. And then there's a slew of other browsers. I mean, honestly, even the new Edge browser is really good. It's another one based on Chromium, but it's fine. And Arc is free to download. There's no waitlist anymore. There is a waitlist for Arc on Windows. I'm not sure exactly when that's coming. I'm on the waitlist for that as well. So we'll have to see. What's interesting with Arc on Windows, though, is they're building it using Swift UI, which I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but they're doing it. I would imagine that they're going to ship it in some sort of wrapper that works on Windows, but I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't know that much about developing, well, any Swift apps, but especially any desktop apps. Yeah, so I like this idea. I think I want to go with something similar. Braden has just the title here with the hover effect. Whether I have a hover effect or not doesn't really matter to me. But I like this hierarchy sort of look. So, yeah, we'll go through that. And that's where you can see, if I scroll back down, we had the div with the H3. And here's the SVG for the icon. What other content do we think I should bother putting here? I mean, I could put like a download link. Realistically, I could just also link to their name up here. Let's just what default button stylings do I have? I think it's nothing by default with Tailwind, so that's fine. Flashbang warning, aka light mode for a second here. All right. Emerald. I do. Yeah. So these H3s are here, and then the section header has an H2. And then in the header, which I'll just scroll up here, this should be an H1. Yeah, that's an H1. Young Halfley, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Yes, yeah. So anyone that doesn't know Rachel in the chat, huge accessibility person, and I envy the amount of knowledge you have about it. It's something that I always try to make sure I'm doing. And we've said in my Discord before, where if you're making an attempt with accessibility, it is a win. I just wish it wasn't a sort of an afterthought for a lot of people. But the hierarchy, at least with headings, yeah, that's a basic one that I think everyone should have down. But I fucked it up on my own website, and it took Abby Perini spotting it, so I appreciate that. And obviously this text isn't right, so where were we? And this is all stuff that I'm going to abstract into a component too. Again, I'm hard coding it now. I just want to get it on the page and out there, and then I'm going to go back and refine it, whether that's on stream or off stream. For me, it's just more important. Like right now, I'm going to spend the time building it out because the refinement of it is something that I have no qualms doing later. It might not be the most efficient way to work for some people, but for me, while I'm designing on the fly as well, I'd rather not worry about making a component and then, and it's easy enough realistically, but it's fine. This is how I like working personally. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's make this. I think it's actually zinc 50, and then the. Oh, I don't know about that, actually. Yeah. What would I do usually here? I don't think I have any buttons anywhere else on my site that are styled like this. Let's see. I could keep it like this, actually. Maybe that's what I'll do. I gotta have a button over here. Yeah, I have links styled like buttons, which I want to get away from, and buttons here. Okay, so that's what I did. And then in light mode, it just must be the opposite. Yep, okay. Yeah. Again, I think I have a button made up in my other CSS file, but for now I'm just doing new things. So let's change this up then. So we had the background was the dark emerald, and the text was zinc 50. Then dark we have emerald 400. No. Yes. There we go. Sorry, flashbang. Perfect. All right. And this again, I'm probably gonna change this, but we'll see. So, something that... Do I even have to... Yeah, you know what? I'll leave it for now, and if I don't like it, I'll just change it up. Although, I guess if this should actually just be in... anchor tag. Thank you, thank you. Where is this coming from? I feel like... Okay. Where is that, like, additional padding coming from? That goes away at larger screen sizes. Okay. Is this part of the... Let's see... Does this have any padding on or anything? No. Interesting. So what the fuck is causing that, I wonder? What the fuck would be causing that? I gotta fix that hover too. That's fine. By default, I have hover on any links change colors, so that's why this is vanishing right now. on earth is causing that to be different? Y'all see what I'm talking about? Hey, Emily, what's going on? The margin up top is fine. That I'm happy with. That's designed in. Why is it... Nothing is popping out to me as to why this has that space. Yeah, it doesn't show that there's any padding on it, but we're gonna experiment real quick. Just curious, what if I shorten this? Just for shits. Okay, it doesn't do anything like I expected. Also, that's a typo. Such a stupid thing like that. I feel like this shouldn't be happening. Let's go take a look at in here and see what's what. Yep, no, that's fine. It's not a label. It's not a button. It's just a link that I added some styles to. Bizarre. That is bizarre to me. I don't want to be adding padding for something that shouldn't need it, though. I don't think I have anything else in here. Alright, let's... we're going to get rid of all our styles and see what's going on here. Actually, let's just do this instead. Copy that. We're going to comment this one out. You know what? Before I comment that, I'll inspect it again for you. So there's the margin up top. And then if I scroll down here, and I'll blow this up. Jesus. All we see is the margin up top. I'm just curious as to why it's taking up more space. Yo, Wally, what's going on? Line height. Oh, you're so smart. That's exactly what it is. It's gotta be, right? Have you done any resetting with your CSS? Yeah, so there's Tailwind has, I think they call it Proof-Light built in, which has some styles. And then I went in. So Tailwind's got the 3 different layers, their base components and utilities, and I started adding my own styles to their base layer. But when we come down to my link, there's no additional padding. It's literally just style, like color styling. Oh, could it be in? I don't think so. Yeah, no, it's not doing anything. Yo. So that, yeah, okay. So to quickly explain, Stream has some Twitch has settings with who can and who cannot chat, and I must have changed it years ago. When I streamed some WoW shortly, because I didn't touch it, and I actually had someone else reach out to me yesterday and be like, "Hey, I want to chat, but it's looking for like phone verification, and I don't want to give Twitch my phone number." So if anyone was here last night and couldn't talk and chat, especially when I got raided by Nate, I do apologize. But that is no more. So I'm glad to see that now that you can chat, Yo. Thank you. Thank you for following last night. And thanks for jumping in chat. I want to go in here and we're going to just Is it no underline for Tailwind? Yeah, okay, it is no hyphen underline. I do really enjoy using Tailwind. I do miss writing regular CSS. But it's alright. Their docs are really good to find what you're looking for, and once you learn it, it's pretty intuitive, which is nice. Yo, this is not making any sense to me. I'm at a loss almost. Hmm. My music ran out. Hi, Marino. Thank you for jumping in, my dude. Could be related to the grid you have in the parented. I suppose it could somehow. What do we think it would be doing? So right now, this is inside this div, and I just have it set to grid. If I remove that. Okay, Rachel. That it was. Why do we think that would cause that behavior? It's somehow related indeed. Yeah, that's for damn sure. Time to Google indeed. One rouser chimed. I'm definitely butchering that, but thank you for following. I appreciate you jumping into the stream. Let's check out Perplexity. Why would a child of a div parent grid have? How do I even fucking Google that issue? How would I Google what the hell was just happening there? That's an interesting one to me. And I really don't need grid on that either, but it's nice for the you know. All right, let's see what Perplexity has to say. It's thinking about it. It's thinking hard. Look at this. If child divs with a parent, so Perplexity is a different. It's another UI engine that I kind of like because it gives you the sources that it's getting its answers from. So you can see here they are in superscript, and they're labeled right up here clearly what sources they're getting from. Yeah, it is. It is nice. I gotta say, it's been working really well. I don't use it as my number. Like honestly, I still use Google for a lot of things, not for anything AI related, but think of the ways that you've had to learn how to Google things. You could just throw whatever questions you have in here, and it'll pretty much always find some sort of answer for you. Um, but it doesn't spit out links like you want. No, there is a paid option, but it's free right now. There is a free tier, I should say. Another person bad at googling. You can't be bad at googling and be in this field. Gritter. If child is within a parentive are taking up 100% height, it is. Oh, I wonder if it was height related. It's likely due to the align items properly being set to stretch by default. When align items is set to stretch, the height of grid items will be determined by the content, but if it is not specified, the height will stretch to fill the grid container rows. I think that's exactly what was happening. To make child does have a height based on their content, you could set align items to start or baseline. Okay. For the parent grid container. So let's go ahead and try that again. Hey, Karina, thank you for hopping in. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I figured I would just share around, and see what's going on. Marino, my day has been pretty good, bud. How about you? Um, Work was kind of a pain in the ass. My VPN wasn't working for hours, and then it turned out that some people it had went down for everyone, I should say, and then mine just never came back. So I had to get a different portal from the help desk, and I was on hold for 35 minutes with waiting for them to pick up the phone. And then naturally, I got an urgent request 2 hours before the end of our workday that we need to get information from our suppliers. Last minute requests are the bane of my existence. But then when it entails somebody else, like it's not just my work, right? If I could power through something and get it done by the end of the day for you, fine. Like it's a pain in the ass, and if it's realistic, I'll do it. But now my part was very small. Now I just have to wait that someone will see my email and pick up my calls and do what we need. Yeah, my company is known for doing this to the suppliers that we work with, and it's really, really bad. But my day's good now. I'm chilling. Everything's been good, so. All right, so then we need to do align baseline. Marina, I only work from home Mondays right now. But today we got a good amount of snow this morning. So I just worked from home, which was nice. Karina, right now I'm working on a uses page for my site. So I have the hardware listed out on my Twitch, and this is way too big. And so I just basically just copied and pasted that, put that here. And now I'm working on the software side of things, but I have an idea in my mind of what I want it to look like. So I got the idea of doing this from Braden Coyer. I'll just show his real quick, where he shows it off in this grid. And I liked when I saw he added this to his site. I said, that's a good idea. My inspiration for the layout for these little cards, though, is coming from Apple. I really like how they have, the picture in the center. There's plenty of breathing room, and they have the title up here. And I think I'm just gonna link to each one with a button, or a link, I should say, because I'm not gonna be feeding them the download right away, so it's not gonna be a button. Yeah, that might be a good idea right there, Rachel. If I just hit height to auto, do we think that'll fix it? Yeah, so according to this, it's saying that align items is set to stretch by default with grid. And I need to use start or baseline. And does that say that I should go on the parent? Set align for the parent grid container. Interesting. Maybe that's why I was seeing the issues with the SVG that I was earlier too. All right, so let's figure this out. I no longer need this other one. I'll uncomment this. It is also interesting to me that it only happens at certain sizes, right? But didn't mean to do that. Cursor pointed. So if we just set height to full, maybe. Yeah, no. Okay, that's gonna take up the entire space. So if we set it to auto, okay, that's giving us the same result. So then we're gonna go to the parent, like it said, and align. It's not vertical align that I need. I need like actual align. So this is where we go to the Tailwind docs. Never heard of vertical align rule. Go away. Okay. Sets vertical alignment of inline block, or table cell boxes. I mean, A tags are inline by default. What if I try that on the link itself? But there should be just a that actual align. Portfolio site is nice. One day I'll have to share mine. Well, feel free to share yours whenever, that's for sure. And I appreciate you saying it's nice. I will forever think that there's always going to be people out there with better sites than me. But I put a lot of work into this one, and now we're just trying to make it even better, and everyone's helping out, so that's even nicer. Yeah, let's try doing this on the link itself. I think that'll give us what we need. Okay. Nope. I have not experienced this anywhere else on my site, which is why I'm so confused. Yeah, nothing's changing here. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. And then if we take away grid, not that one. If I could type, that'd be good too. Yeah, that's not doing jack shit. Oh, Wally, hi. So, I'm just outlining this here. So the problem right now. Actually, I'm curious if we add this here. I'll explain it to you in a second. I should just make a class for this debugging, right? Okay, so it's happening up here as well. So you see how this tag, and actually now you can see with this outline here, it's pinned to the top of this box. This is a behavior due to grid. By default, it makes the... Where did perplexity go? The align items is set to stretch. And that's fine. Like, I've seen that before. Dude, I wish. Oh, there's an items one. This is exactly what I need here. Pato, I wish that's would do the magic right now. All right, so items start. This might be just what I needed. There it is. What a pain in the behind. Good. Now we can move forward. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that took us all this time? We did it, yeah. While we just got here, which is great. Yeah, classic CSS struggle is the goddamn right. Here, we're just going to add a debug class. So now I don't have to type it out on every goddamn thing. Let's just make sure that works as intended. Excellent. Okay, very good. Now, naturally, I'm going to add some padding to this, but, you know. I don't think P3 is a thing. It is. Okay, perfect. And I just want to check my browser zoom, make sure we're at actual size. There we go. Arc is Chromium based, yeah. All right, but I think that's too big. And I want to make the width auto instead of the full thing, but okay, so we have this here is what we're looking at. So, grid aspect square. Okay. Items baseline rounded background zinc. Good, good. Then we have my H3. I just reduced the text size. And I guess we should center this. Chat, should I get ice cream or a shake from Carvel? Do a shake if you're going to be on your computer. It'll be easier to eat and consume at the same time. What does everyone else think? I do prefer the left align look, to be honest. But I'll mess with that in the future. So this is it now, which is good. So now I have to go and figure out what other software I have. What even is Pato? Is Carvel not nationwide? I thought it was gigantic. I mean, not anymore, but it was at one time. Fucking West Coasters. I do think I want more space in here. So I think if I made this height bigger for this, yeah, for argument's sake, yeah. I don't know. That is amazing. I thought, dude, wasn't Carvel like, or what am I thinking of Friendlies? That was massive. I'm thinking of Friendlies. Never mind. Okay, then we've got our icon here. So, our download button is definitely feeling too large, in my opinion. Okay, Carvel is mostly over here. Gotcha. Now, grid, I guess, naturally makes it take up the entire width of the container. Is that right? And I think this is too small. We'll keep it at 50% for now. Fuck with it later. Yeah. So I wonder how I could change that just for this if I wanted to make it just the size of the download button. I want to say with content maybe, but I also feel like it's gonna be, or maybe when min. Okay, perfect. And let's just do bada boom, bada bing. There we go. And let's add some more padding now. What padding do I have on my regular button? Okay, perfect. There we go. It definitely needs more space though. Like this is not. I'm gonna have to make breakpoints for the sizes. Yeah, the link is gonna go to the download page on Arc's website. So that's why I think I'm gonna change it to. I don't want it. I'm not actually feeding them in a download, so I should probably just style it as a regular link, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So, goodbye, background. Goodbye, all this jazz. Yeah, yeah. At least give it the external link icon if you want it to still look like a button. I'm not sure that I'm sold on it. I think it's taking away from the icon itself, actually. So... I don't. These hovers are brutal. Link style to links is the best way to go. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm like, I want to get out of that habit. You know, can you put the link? Can you put the app name? Yeah. So I was thinking about doing that as well. I don't think I have enough content to truly copy this. I like this look, but again, I don't have enough really to do it. So I could just do that and call it a day. All right, looks like we're all voting for that, which is fine. But we learned a thing about grid today because I wanted to make it look like a button and shit. So it's not a wasted effort, in my opinion. Exactly right. Exactly. So the last thing I have to really figure out here, and let's just bump this up right now, is the responsive sizing. Like right here, I think this looks okay. And I know I have a Chrome thing right there. I'm gonna change it out. Don't worry. But when you change sizes, I feel like, well, this you'll never see at that size because this is on a desktop, right? So let's see. Check my phone real quick. I'm using my phone, but I have access to everything. Oh. I'll send it to you on Discord, Wally. Wally signing into DoorDash and needed the verification code. LU335, a clue. I'm sorry. My eyes are shot. Hello. How are you? Got to go back to a great meeting you. Hey, thank you so much, Karina. I appreciate it. Thank you for jumping in here and sending me that connection request. I am using my phone with continuity camera. It is chef's kiss. Like 100%. Clue335, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay. So now we get to the fun part of just creating SVGs. Do you have a recommendation on tripod for holding the phone? Clue, hello. Okay, you're the second one from the LGT Discord. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, well, Rachel, it seems like you know, I mean, cats are always gonna get busy in your stuff as well. So, but I love cats. I can't wait to have a cat again. I went and bought the Joby, and you're gonna recognize it as soon as you see it. Because I lost the. Well, let's show you first what I had. I had this Belkin continuity camera thing for my Mac. So I had one of these. And I just don't know where it was. Like, it was on my desk, and then it vanished. And so Monday, I was like, oh shit, I have to go get something. And so this just literally goes onto your laptop just like that. And that works out because I have my main monitor and my laptop here. No stores sell this because I would have just bought another one. So then I bought this Joby tripod, which you're definitely going to recognize, like I said. Yes, Wally, that's why I wanted you to stop at Best Buy. I did not spend $120 though. That's for damn sure. This must be something extra. Yeah. So then I also had to buy the phone mount though too. So I think all in all I spent like $50 or so, which isn't terrible because I'll have this now. It's not as tall as I'd like. I'm eventually going to just get a. If I keep up with just this, like, I'm gonna get an arm for it, and then just throw it up on my desk like that. It works great. Don't get me wrong, but I have it propped up on a box right now because it's not tall enough. So like, you know, it works. Don't get me wrong, but for what it's doing, I just feel like it's not great. You can't. Yeah, well, so I just didn't have time to wait for it to get shipped, and even Amazon didn't offer like same day shipping, and I was just like, well, I'm streaming tonight. I kind of need it, so this thing's nice. Don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of people use it, when they're actually vlogging and things like that, and I'm not planning on doing that anytime soon. So let's get you out of here. You're done. You're done. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's get this to be actually arc browser. Shit, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, why did that not update? I am very confused. Yes, yeah, you're gonna probably want something with either a heavy weighted base or something that if you have a monitor mount, I would imagine you can branch off of that. Like Vivo, for example, even their inexpensive ones, and not that I would buy them from Shopify here, eBay that is. So they sell like attachments for your laptop, for example, and so I think if you just get an extender pole, depending on the angle you want, right? Or you could just get this itself and throw your phone on it, which is probably what I'm gonna look to do, to be completely honest. Um, just as a standalone thing. So my thing too, at my next, I'm moving out of this place in the next 2 weeks, and I'm going from having. I mean, this room is decently sized, but I'm going from here to a room that's much smaller, and I'm gonna have a dedicated gaming monitor then. So I'll have my productivity monitor and my gaming monitor. I have a gaming PC that I use on Thursday night streams and everything. So I need a different webcam for that because the software that lets you use any smartphone on your PC, there's just more of a like a latency issue. Nate was talking about it earlier, and I experienced it when I downloaded one of the apps last night. Yeah, standalone would be really good. I think it's definitely the way to go. Go for something mounted because it's gonna free up your desk space. You don't have to worry about it as much, and then you just throw your phone or camera on it. But so for my gaming nights, I think I'm gonna invest in an Insta 360 for a more quality webcam. Is it the Insta 360? Yeah, there we go. No, I don't want any websites sending me notifications. It is infuriating that so many try to send you notifications. Um, but I think I'm gonna invest in one of these if I keep streaming. I'm not gonna buy it right away, but this is just something else I could throw on top of my monitor and call it a day for those other streams. Yeah, I always block notifications. I did still have a latency issue even plugged in. Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know if it's because USB 3 point whatever gen is on my PC. Might not be fast enough to really relay that in true time. But yeah. This is a nice camera. It's also got a nice camera price point. You want to see? Yeah. You want the tripod kit? It's $278, which I frankly don't think I need because I'm not carrying it around. Yeah. Oh, do you? Maybe I'll just use my old Pixel then, since it's collecting dust. What do you use? Droid Cam X? Yeah, 278 for the tripod kit. Yeah, let's go back to that for a second. Yeah, dude. So There's the difference. This has a lot of extra features, and it is honestly one of the best looking. Probably looks like it. Exactly right. Yeah, I mean it's 250 for the. Oh, you're right. It is a bundle. Shit, where's just the camera? Is that all they? Wait, wait. It's 250 for it to be standalone. But up here they're saying it's it is standalone, including the link, recognition markers. So that's the other thing with this. It offers recognition markers so that it will like follow you. So I don't think I have it on right now, do I? I do. So I have center stage on my phone right now. So if I move around, it should try to keep me in frame. It should, but it's barely doing anything. That this will do that, and it has advanced features. I just like the quality of it. I don't want to look like a potato. Yeah, I think I have it placed further back right now, so it's a better frame overall. But my monitor is very close on one side, and my MacBook is very close on the other. So, again, really good webcam, and that's the shitty part. Like you also, and this is Mac only, but you have the Opal C1, I think it is. Now this is Mac only. This is another very expensive one. Yeah, you're looking at $300 for this, so it just says the same price basically. You know, um, it's cheaper than a DSLR and getting all that working. You know, but if you had no, what was that one you said? It was InstaDroid or something. Droid Cam X. Okay, so yeah, it's just another piece of software. I mean, if it works seamlessly without any issues, then I'll just use my Pixel for now because I'd rather spend $5 than 250 to $300. You know. And what's also nice about using my phone, um, with my Mac is I have access to everything. If someone texts me, I have access to that. If someone does whatever, um, it might be on the Apple Store. No, no, not with that kind of name. It is Droid Cam and OBS camera. Interesting. Built to A, Todd. Welcome. Yeah, dude, and even the newer Macs have decent webcams. So like they've come a long way. I just know that I have this free feature with my phone, so might as well take advantage of it, right? I don't know about streaming, but I'm planning to record videos for YouTube. Was the place now? Just use your phone. Just use your phone. I forget who said it. I think it's Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD. Um, but the best camera is the one you have with you. I think is or something like that. And like, don't spend the money on gear just yet. Like that's why I don't want to invest even in that webcam, right? If I'm gonna be consistent, sure. The only thing I would like to do is some sort of lighting because where I'm gonna be like in here, it's not ideal either. I have this one overhead and then my monitor light bar, which is like glowing off of me, or my keyboard. But lighting and sound make a far bigger difference than camera quality. If any recent iPhone within the last 5 to 6 years, you could put content out there with, but lighting is the biggest thing. Like you said, you have a ring light, Rachel. I can't use ring lights because of my glasses. I have to figure out. I'm probably gonna have to get some sort of softbox or diffused lighting. I don't know if there's a built-in. I have to look to see how I can add my own emotes. But if you have an emoji like tool, like I use Rocket, you should be able to find it like Wally did. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Windows key period does it for that, and I think Mac has one, but Raycast also has it. An emoji finder, so I could just find lobster and then copy it. All right. Speaking of Raycast, so I finally started taking advantage of some of what Raycast has to offer. Sorry, I'm like extremely uncaffeinated today. So I'm cracking Diet Cokes open because I didn't go to the store for anything. It snowed, and I had to shovel, and it's melted now. But I'm trying to survive tonight. So where was I? Raycast. Don't tease me with a good time, Wally. For those of you that don't know what Raycast is, it is a Spotlight alternative, um, built into Mac OS. What is Spotlight for our Windows users? Spotlight is this window that pops up and lets you quickly find things on your Mac. So for now, I have suggestions. Whether it's Chrome, I could do that, or if I want Arc, I could do that, or if I want VS Code, lets you do a lot more with other apps. Spotlight itself has gotten better, but it's a really quick and easy way to find and do things that you need to do without taking your hands off the keyboard. So, me too. Hello, hello. Yes, PowerToys is fantastic for Windows users. If you are a Windows user and not using PowerToys, I cannot recommend it enough. I've been using it for years now, just for their window management, and it is a game changer. PowerToys has all these utilities built into it, and I think it's more of like a playground for Windows developers, to see things how they get used and before they fully release them, either in current or future Windows versions. But Fancy Zones, for example, do they have previews here? It lets you create zones on your desktop and lets you easily snap windows to it. So Windows snapping by default is way better than Mac OS is, right? But for example, you can drag a window and then just hold Shift or whatever your hotkey is and move it there. Yeah, I definitely agree. That's a good way of looking at it, me too. PowerToys is a quality of life toolbox for Windows. It is. Yep. Yep. Think of like all the third-party apps. I mean, you open up my expander, you see all of these apps. These are things that are doing that. These are doing things that Mac doesn't do natively, right? So, Poinetta, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. I have Rectangle installed right now, actually. Bing, bang, bop. Bang, bang, boom. Bay. Oh, look at that. We got our first spam. Oh, man. What a bummer for us. Well, let's block you out of here. I got a follow out of it, I guess. By the way, Wally, I gave you mod privileges, so. Yeah, Rectangle's been really good. I tried a couple of others before, and it's just the one that I've stuck with. That Coke is coming back at me. Raycast also has it built in. It's got window management built in. I don't want to always type it, and I know you can assign shortcuts to it, but I got so used to it. But something that I do like with Raycast is their regional plus size and almost maximize. So if I grab Todoist, for example, I think this is a good one to show it off with. So depending on what display I'm on, right, I will like do more or less with this. But if I just put in reasonable size, it makes it into a reasonable size. How about that? It's like really self-explanatory. And then the reasonable, the almost maximize I like because it keeps it within like the 16:9, or if you're on your laptop MacBook screen, 16:10 ratio size. It just like pleases me. So, yeah. Me too. I want to offer promotion for the opportunity to ban a bot. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I'm much rather get more people in here that are able to chat because we didn't get to last night. Yourself and Yo that was in here earlier couldn't chat because of that. Yeah, so Windows Power Toys, I highly recommend. More tools than I use, honestly, but I'm glad that it exists. It's built by Microsoft and everything like, and it's open source, which is awesome. Oh, I got started on the Raycast conversation. So they offer a lot of different integrations, and one of the integrations I finally downloaded was Icons, and it's powered by Iconify, which is a website that provides you with icons from a bunch of different sources. The perk of this is that I don't have to go anywhere else. I can do it all from where I'm working. So if I just wanted to search, we're going to search Arc. And all these different sources offer different, Arc icons. Obviously, this is the one we're looking for. So I've mapped the default action to copy. You could also right-click it to get a context menu. Okay, cool. I'm going to copy the SVG, paste it in here, and save. Now, what I'm confused about is why this referenced SVG is not being updated. Just for shits and gigs, I'm just going to restart the dev server. There it is. Okay, perfect. And then, yeah, we can go from there. Good. So now comes the part, before I keep going, of figuring out all the apps that I want on here. Yeah, I found that changing images or just things you reference in general like that, but it's an easy enough fix. How am I liking Astro? Clue? That's a fantastic question. Let me point you to a poignant thing I just put out. I wrote a nice dandy blog post about it. Shameless plug. Yeah, I'm taking off like a rocket ship, I love Astro. I truly believe that any web developer that's getting started with frameworks should start with Astro before they dive into things like React or Next or Gatsby. Oh, dude, sick invite on the Carvel. But I genuinely believe that, and I said it last night. I'll say it again. I say it in the article. There's a few reasons for that. My biggest thing is that it seems to have a much lower barrier for entry. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so we can see more and go over to, where are we? My layout. You're writing just straight up HTML in your Astro components. And I think that is one of the best things for anyone starting. They're not learning something that's a wildly new syntax. Learning React is like, you feel comfortable with JavaScript and then you learn React, you're like, holy shit, I know nothing. Because it is a different way of thinking, and no flame against React, no flame against Next.js. I'm learning them both right now, or fortifying my knowledge in them. But the fact that you're building in a syntax that is way more familiar for you, as you're starting, I really enjoy. It's really great for static sites, content-heavy sites as well. I got into Astro when they released Astro 3.0, and obviously it was around before that, but that's when it really seemed to take off in popularity. So that's one reason I like it, because the familiarity, and it's a much lower barrier to entry because you're writing stuff that is familiar to you. With that being said, its syntax and its file structure is very similar to React Next.js. You're going to learn a lot more. And I allude to this. You look at my file browser, my Explorer, and it looks just like any other project, you use NPM for, right? It's got a fuck ton of folders and files and things that you don't necessarily know what you're doing with. And when I was learning and started learning React and stuff, nothing explained to me, basically saying, I'm sorry, how do I phrase this? Nothing told me, don't worry about this stuff. But when you open up your project for the first time, and when I learned React, it was use create React app. Yeah, a metric fuck ton, exactly right. You want to open up the node modules file, you don't know what the hell that is. No one tells you what it is. And maybe this is just the way my brain works. I'm sure I'm not alone, though. I really like knowing the why, whether it's why we do something or why we don't do something. I want to know. And I want to know the core or the most basic understanding of what something is, regardless of what I'm working with. And the fact that no resources do that, I think, is a detriment to how we're teaching web development these days. But the fact that you get comfortable in the syntax and the structure of the project is so nice. And again, it's a safer environment because you can say, well, I'm still writing HTML. So that's another big reason why I like Astro so much. Astro is also, it's framework agnostic, so you can go ahead and it's called Astro Islands or Islands Architecture. You can incorporate anything you want if you need that interactivity. You could build a site and use islands to incorporate React, Svelte, Vue, Nuxt, Next, like all of them if you want, right? And I think that's really cool because it's shipping as little client-side JavaScript as possible for performance and a bunch of other reasons. When you add a blog post, you have to redeploy the site. You probably do that automatically with NetFly. Yes, so you do have to redeploy the site. Definitely would recommend connecting like a webhook or something to do that. All right, Wally, so long. Thank you for jumping in while you can. Enjoy your time. And that's the great thing too. By default, Astro has fantastic Markdown support, and there's a bunch of starters out there that use just Markdown or MDX for those blog posts. But yeah, you have to redeploy your site. I use Storyblock CMS instead. If I had to do it again, I probably wouldn't use a CMS, but I wanted the experience of working with one, and I'm not upset that I did. I like Storyblock a lot. I think its free tier is great. If you have to start paying for Storyblock, look elsewhere unless your business is paying for, like, you know, a corporation's paying for it, because it is pricey. Yeah, I could keep going on about Astro. I'm not a master in Astro whatsoever. I think that learning by doing is the best thing you can do. And if you're interested in learning Astro, go for it. Just dive in. If you have experience with any other framework, you'll be just fine. Latch 909 says, for sure, I've built a course site using the content collections. Yes, exactly right. Content heavy sites, it is so good for content collections. I mean, you have the built-in view transitions as well, which is just like a nice sprinkle on top, right? But yeah, the content collections for courses like that, it's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. And actually, I'll pull up their site real quick. I'm not gonna pay to say this. For the record, I don't have a job in the field yet, so like no one's paying me for anything. But here, so they've got a bunch of these themes right off the bat, and you could filter them. We'll just look for free if you just want to get started. And let's look for blogs, right? You just want to start with the blog. And I'm going to say, well, let's just leave that technology blank. This right here, Astro Paper. Someone builds this, you can go through, edit whatever you want, and this is really smart because the blogs are actually like how to do things, which is really cool. And Lash909, thank you very much for the follow. And it comes out of the box with everything you need. Now, of course, with these themes, you're depending on someone else to keep them updated and things like that. And that's my only gripe with depending on things like this. But Astro Paper has been phenomenal so far. You can see this was just updated January 15th. So just under a month ago. Give Astro a shot. Clue says, I think I'll remake my portfolio with it. I did look at your blog a bit, and I've never heard. Oh, well, thank you very much, Clue. I appreciate that. See, again, I think it surprises me, right? I feel like all I did was see Astro on Twitter, and that's what piqued my interest, and I liked the idea of it. But hey, I'm glad that you're gonna redo it. I have someone else I know is redoing their portfolio with it, which is really cool. Latch says, even my non-technical team members can update the MDX files and push to GitHub. Exactly right. Like, that is so nice. You don't have to, it lowers that barrier, like I said. And this is where I feel like the tech industry seems like in certain ways it's getting more complicated and more convoluted. And like if the problems we're solving are getting more complex, that's going to happen, right? For me, and for those of you that didn't hear me last night, I started studying web development in late 2019, early 2020. and have studied up and down like anything else, ebb and flows. And I've been balancing a full time job, and I got married, and now I'm going through divorce and things like that. Um, but um, the bar to get into the field has just continued to go up in these last few years. And let's not even talk about the hiring, the market right now, right? Yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster, that's for sure. Um, that's why I'm moving out of here in the next couple weeks, actually. But um, yeah, if the bar keeps going up and we're not taking advantage of this new technology to make things simpler in some way, shape, or form, I don't know. I feel like overall everything's getting more complicated, and then people are building these tiny tools to simplify parts of that overall complicated thing. So, Pato, I wonder if this is what my friends hear when I talk about WoW. I don't even know if we're still talking about computers, dude. Yeah, it's funny that I can do both at least, so I'm happy for that. But you're 100% right. This is what your non-WoW friends think when you're talking about WoW in front of them. Rachel says that's a lot of life in a short amount of time. Yeah, yeah, it is. I met my future ex-wife in 2018. Got married October 2021. Our 2 year anniversary was this past October. In December, I found out she was having an affair, and here we are. So it's been a bit, but honestly, that conference came at such a good time for me, and I'm just being vulnerable because I like being honest, and that's who I am. You know what? I think everyone deserves to hear whatever you're going through. And again, this isn't a pity party. I appreciate the sorries, though. I do. It is shitty. Like, there's no denying that. But I'm super focused on just on me now, more than I've been. And we're gonna make the most of it, right? So that conference came at a really good time for me. It just fired me up, and that's why I'm here. I'm here streaming. I'm on Twitter. I'm blogging again. I'm writing my newsletter. I'm not even, I'm looking for a job. That's really, and the community, like, that provided such a welcoming community of people for me. Clue, yeah, I went to that conference. It was freaking awesome. It was life changing, and I'm ecstatic that I was able to go. I don't live in Texas. I live up in New York. I'm about an hour outside of the city on Long Island. I'm in Islip, New York. That's Islip. I would love to move to Texas. It's not in the cards right now with everything going on, but I'll definitely looking to move off the island within the next 2 years, as long as everything goes according to plan. Latch says, made my first app year. Geez, if only I could read. Yep, my first app last year for Next App Router, and man, that was tough initiation. I wish I could go back and start with simpler stack, and honestly, Astro was that sweet spot. 100%. Yeah, I look forward to using Astro. I'm learning Next because I want to and I need to. Like, it's necessary evil, obviously. Like, React is massive and Next is massive in the job force, and not that I want to, like, and that's the other thing. I want to learn everything, so I'm looking forward to it. But Astro is very comfortable to work with. Rachel is saying, it came at a really good time for me, too. I was going through a rough patch with mental health. I had no motivation, but that turned things around with me for me so much. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. It was so good. And I think it did that for a lot of people. It was really, really good. And part of that is just, it started from the top, It was so, so good. Clue, I did meet Shashi. I met Shashi my first night there, and it was great. It was, Shashi just wanted to help from the first time I met him, and that was sick. And I think I hung out with him every night thereafter. And yeah, Shashi is fantastic. And I mean, so many people that I met there, everyone that I met there was fantastic. What am I saying? Danny Thompson was another one. So the people that I met that first night were, I met several people, but Sarah Shook, Danny Thompson, Braden Coyer, Shashi Lowe, and Brian Morrison. Brian Morrison is who I won the ticket from, and I was super thankful for that. Obviously, I would not have been able to afford to go there. And Brian told me too, and he shared this, I think, at that, and Danny, I believe, referenced it as well. But not this past January, not the conference that we're talking about right now, but the year prior, Brian was looking to leave tech, and that reinvigorated him. And it very much just is pushing me to do more and more. So I am a huge supporter of it, and I can't wait to go back. Zug Bros living in Texas. Yeah, dude. I think California probably has a lot of good. There's a lot of bad going on. I don't know. Texas is just on my mind because there's a lot of tech jobs there. I'm tired of the cold, to be completely honest. Um, Pros and cons to everywhere that you're gonna live, right? Devin Zara is asking if I'm actively applying, interviewing. Told myself I was gonna start in January, and you've missed your goal. Well, come start. Just start applying. I've been applying for about 2 to 3 months now, and it's been terrible. It's definitely the worst place to learn, right? Um, Here, I'm gonna jump over here. So, and actually, let me change this real quick. I do not want to refresh the browser. Perfect. Um, just start. It's a really shitty time, but you're not gonna get a job if you don't try. And I don't think I'm ready. I don't think my portfolio actually show. And again, this is me being authentic and vulnerable. I don't think my portfolio projects show that I'm fully ready. And so that's part of what I'm going to be working on. I really enjoy making my portfolio better, though. So that's what I'm doing now. But I have a couple of projects lined up to do after this is done. I'll do the refinement and stuff in the background. But I'm going to be working with next moving forward. And I've got like 2 smaller projects that I want to do and 1 larger one that hopefully will continue to push the needle forward. So it's exciting. I'm really pumped for it. I've not got an interview yet, but fingers crossed. Devon Zara says, I've had a few people doing that for me. Super nice, grateful for the support. I just wasn't ready yet. Yeah, Waller's been sending me at least one job a day. I get them from Twitter. Oh, I don't think I got to finish my story. So the first night that I was there, that I met those people, Danny, Braden, Shashi, and Brian, I was really just talking a lot to Shashi and Danny and Braden, telling them what's going on, like what my journey has been so far, and they were listening. Like they just listened and were offering support and suggestions, and not giving me their experience and their wisdom that they've learned already. And Danny made a really good point. Like I felt like I was doing everything I could to get a job already, and now what I've been doing for the last week or two, I realized that I wasn't. And I think again, like this mental clarity that I'm having from the divorce that I'm going through and everything like that, it's just really giving me like a new perspective, and with that as well. Clue says you live in Texas and you go to Danny's meetups. Oh, that's awesome. Rachel, I need to go to LA. I've never been to California. And I definitely want to get out there before I move because it'll be much easier financially too. So let me see where my finances are in the next 6 to 12 months, and then I'm gonna make a plan, and we'll make plans to get together out there because California I definitely need to get to. As much as Pato says it's bad. Clue, where did I learn UI UX? Just a lot of observations and stuff. Observations and practice. So I am a big stickler on how do I say this? I'm a big observer of when sites, apps, or services have really bad UI UX, and I try to do the opposite of that, right? So that's why I like to say like I have a focus or an eye for UI UX and design. I'm not a designer, and I wouldn't say that I am a UI UX designer, but I think that I have a good eye for it. Always looking to learn more, right? So hopefully my latest portfolio is a reflection, at least of where that design has went. Todd is saying the cold is why you moved from Maine to Arizona. Yeah, that's 100%. I don't blame you at all. Man, Maine's got to be pretty brutal. That's for sure. I followed Danny's brand new LinkedIn course. It was more of like a crash course. I'm gonna follow up on his old one as well, just to make sure I can flesh it out. Wally asking the exchange rate for New York to California. That's a really good question. We're definitely losing money going there, that's for sure. Hey, thank you both very much. I appreciate it. That's awesome to hear. Just always trying to make it better, Rachel said, I've never lived in New York, but the exchange rate from Michigan to California was quite high. That's for damn sure. Yeah. I think like for me, uh, I need to go somewhere. I have a goal of like living alone. I've never had the opportunity to, and maybe not permanently, but for some time in my life, I would really like to. I'm 32, going on 33 in November, and not that that's old. It's not young either, but it's not, definitely not old. I just want to. Like, I want to experience that, and if it's not for me, it's not for me. See, like Rachel loves it. I think I'm gonna love it too. I want to live alone, and I want to get two cats, and you know, yes, cats are a necessity. That's for sure. Zara Mouse says I'm feeling old, turning 30 next month. Don't feel old. It's fine. 30 is like so blown out of the water. Although I can't speak for everyone, right? For me, I just think of it like every year that I've been alive, I have gained so much wisdom, you know? Um um what was I saying? Yeah, every year that I've been alive, I look back and at myself the year prior and think, "Oh wow, I've learned so much," or I feel like a completely different person. Especially since 2018, I started working on myself and my girlfriend at the time, and a lot of good has come of it. So yeah, I'm happy with being 32 because I'm just getting wiser with age, right? Todd lived alone for the longest time, and it's pretty awesome, dude. Hell yeah! And now you're just living the dream. I mean, like you don't live alone anymore, and get to play. You're retired now, so you really just get to live the dream, you know. Latch. Latch. Excuse me, sorry. That's fucking funny. Goddamn. Some old timers sharing some wisdom. So that's what I gotta say. I really enjoy so far. Just and this is my third stream. But and Nate Codes on Twitch said this earlier today. Just like the conversations that he's having in his streams, it's like great. It's really refreshing and nice, you know. Devin Zara, I definitely didn't gain any wisdom in my early teens. Skipped school and played computer games all day. So I was a musician previously. I've played viola for 24 years. What was I, 7 when I started? Yeah, 20, 24 years now. And that was my life. I tunnel vision on that, went to school for it, didn't do anything with it. Um, but there's always wisdom or something to be gained, I think, mostly with whatever you do. But the wisdom you could be gaining now is like what not to do, right? Top saying he's an antique. Yeah, you get better and more valuable with age, right? You're a baby, but you're wise. Rachel, you definitely if I were to describe you, you're an old soul. But seriously, you seem wiser beyond your years, so I love playing tuba. I was a violinist and violist. Viola was my primary instrument, but violin, I feel like it always is in that order. Went to school for education, music education, and performance. Performed in the tri-state area, mainly on Long Island. Wally and I both performed in an orchestra in the city. I performed in an opera series that toured the city and the Long Island area. Taught everywhere. Performed at weddings everywhere in the tri-state area. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun too. But moving on. It's fine. It's never gonna be. It'll never not be a part of me, and it formed who I am. But I was also a bit of a dick when I was younger. Like seriously, I remember. Yeah, well, same with you, Mister Trumpet player. Um, yeah, Jevin, I have to adjust that actually. I was just looking in the settings for that. I think I have to adjust it on Streamlabs itself on the website. Let's see. I'm just looking into it now because it was bothering me. Yeah, we're gonna always show the messages and save. All right, they should not go away anymore after it's now been refreshed. So my apologies. We'll just do a quick test and see if that goes away. Um, I played flute and concert band in middle school and high school, but I could definitely see you playing flute. Oh, what happened here? Are we back? Hello? Sorry, my camera froze. Perfect. Okay. So Rachel, I was saying, I don't know if my sound got cut off or anything. I could definitely see you playing flute. I can also very much see you in color guard. So while I played, quick story about marching band, because Wally and I are marching band geeks. Um, while I played trumpet and I played viola, so I certainly wasn't going to be joining a marching band. I went there one day to pick him up with my parents, and the marching band directors thought I was Wally. And when then explained that, oh, I'm not a twin, or we're twins, but I'm not Wally. They were in need of someone for the pit, so they said, "Hey, can you read music?" "Yeah, I play viola." "Okay, well, can you read treble clef?" "Yeah." "Okay, do you want to play?" Like, it was just a matter of that, right? And it was great. And that's how I got my start in marching band. And then in high school, Wally and I were both drum majors for our high school marching band, so that was really, really cool. Pato, don't get me started. Pato saying when I was younger because I said I was a dick when I was younger. You bring it out of me, Pato. Zara Mouse said I had 2 gigs with my band, and that is about it for my music career. Doesn't matter, you did it, right? And it was a blast. When I was younger, I was a bit arrogant. Yeah, so I was like, I don't know, there were a couple of things. I think I kind of thought who I was. Um, right? Like, I didn't listen to anything that wasn't classical music, or classic rock, I should say, but definitely classical music from like the 5th grade through like 7th or 8th grade, and then I started introducing classic rock, I think in 8th or 9th. Um, and then I didn't start listening to pop music, I think, until my senior year of high school because I was going away to college and I figured I might as well learn to tolerate it. Like, I was that classical musician that I thought I was better than everyone else. Um, so that's what I mean when I say I was a piece of shit. Like, I was always a good kid for the most part. You know, but yeah, I was very full of myself. And I've definitely been humbled over time, and I like who I am much more now. Awesome, we have a cornet player. Inducted in the band just like that, exactly right. Latch, thank you so much for joining while you were here. I appreciate it. Is this a music career revival arc? Yes, Rachel, I was. I was one of the ones that raised my hand together in Taylor's talk. That's for sure. It was great. We did a show at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse when we were younger. What else? What else? Wally and I were also in a band together. I forget how long we were around. Probably a year or so. It felt like longer. Maybe it was longer. And that's something like I wish I did more of. So in that band, Wally played trumpet and keyboard, and I played whatever we needed. But I played viola, bass, and guitar. I think that's everything I did. Um, and at the time we were working at Stop and Shop, I think, if I remember correctly, a grocery store over here. It's also known as Giant in other parts of the country. And but when I would have a paying wedding gig come up versus, like a band practice, I'd say, well, I can't go to band practice. I've got to go to this paying wedding gig. But we did do a few shows with our band, and it was fucking sick. Like, it was so much fun, and I still miss it to this day. It was one of the most fun times of my life, I think. That's for sure. And I'm glad to see that our chat is no longer going away after 30 seconds. Okay. What do you say we get back to my site real quick? All right. Um, so what projects am I going to build? So I have a couple right now. that I want to continue to flesh out, and these will probably go um, over time. I'll continue to build these out. So I have a Next and an and Tailwind starters, and these are just templates anyone can come and grab. Um, but so it's based off of my new CSS that we've seen me pop up in my website's chat. So it's an opinionated starter, but it's just a place for me to get a jump start on things, so I'm not installing from scratch the entire time, especially because I want all of my projects to have a similar style. So that's one, and the next is literally the same thing, just with next styling, black and white, and they, yeah. So those are two, and those are just ones that I want to maintain and definitely build out a bit more. I have another one that I started and have to get back on track with. I kind of got sidetracked by doing streaming and content creation. So this is the tech growth tracker. Track activities, ideas, and projects to help push your tech career forward. So this was inspired by Taylor Dessian's talk at that. And this is something that you could simply just put in your to-do list, right? But at its core, these are like the things that I wanted to do. I want to post to LinkedIn once a day. I want to post to X at least 4 times a day. I want to do at least 1 blog post a week and 1 newsletter a week. Now I'm already changing this, right? Like this is not manageable for me right now. So I'm gonna do like 2 newsletters a month. Blog posts, I'll probably look to do 2 to 4 a month, and I'm just gonna allow myself to be flexible. But the idea with this is you could just check it off and as you go through the week, and then when a new week starts, it'll just refresh. Right now, it's not using anything. I don't even have local storage. So this I want to just use next because it'll give me just a dabbling of really into it, and I also want to get user authentication built into it, so anyone could use it if they want. Like I've made this stupid little cheesy little logo. It's a to-do list, but just focused around things that are going to help grow your community and presence on social media. It's basically a glorified to-do list, yeah, with targeted things to do. And it'll have a weekly cadence. This was, again, just more so for me. Like, I just wanted to build it, and, yeah. Again, just more things that you can do it by yourself, realistically. Where is Todoist? Or actually, where is Simple Note? Simple Note, where are you? Come on. I believe in you. There we go. Okay. So I've got a couple of other projects that in mind. Where are we? Yeah, 100% agree with you, Devanzara. If you're not interested in it, you're just gonna wane and you're not gonna do anything with it, and it'll stay stagnant. So for me, like, this is something I'm focusing on right now: the tech growth and the community growth. So why not just do something that's just geared towards it? And again, it's for me, it's that getting experience with Next, getting more comfortable with the authenticity, and rolling user authentication in this would be a first for me. Why not learn something new doing that, right? It doesn't have to be a masterpiece every time. 2 more things. One is a read later app. So how many of you have heard of Pocket before? It's owned by Mozilla now. Pocket, it is a save it later app. So let's say I'm on Braden's site and I want to check it out later. You can just share it, or here I just saved it to Pocket. And now it'll pop up. Here's Braden's website that I just saved. So this is a bunch of just articles and things that I want to read later, because I come across way more blogs and stuff that I have time to digest in a day, right? And a lot of this too I'll save for my newsletter. On my newsletter, I like to share 3 links of things that I like that maybe people will find value in. But no read later app has ever done what I wanted to. I don't know. And again, this is like a simple thing, right? There's another one called from Readwise Theirs is literally called Reader, I believe, when the page wants to load. Well, Pinterest, correct me if I'm wrong. I've never actually used Pinterest. um, Pinterest is more of like inspiration with ideas, right? Like I've known like Pinterest to be used for like media pictures a lot and like mood boards almost, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But it looks like their content was pretty similar. Pinterest is great for getting design ideas. There you go. Yeah, like you can just like curate a bunch of things you're interested in. Pocket. Rachel's asking, do I ever actually go back and use them? I was really excited about the later function in Slack, but then a bunch of stuff just piled up in there. So I think it really depends. Like in Slack, I feel like that's not a good place for it. Slack to me should be focused on communication, right? This is an app that is solely devoted to that, to storing things you want to read later. I personally have made it a point to go back and look at it. Obviously, I'm behind. I don't get to read as much as I save, and that's okay. Some things I'll keep in here for reference later. Some things I'll end up throwing out because I don't actually want it. This was an article from a friend of mine. Oh, and it also puts it in a reader view, but you can of course just view the original. I didn't have the time when they shared this. Then this is from November, because I like Mac a lot, but the reading of them making their website or their side project, like, or me trying to learn about Astro, like, or any other tech, just had to prioritize my time. Same thing goes for Max here. This was Diamond Boy that was in here earlier. He has been killing it. I don't know where he gets all his energy. It's kind of wild. I know he's younger than me. But Max just seems to like bounce back and forth on things. He's got a pretty successful trams app in Manchester. They're from the UK. And I want to support them, so I watch their videos when I can, and I read what I can. And I mean, I watch YouTube videos at 2x speed almost all the time because I just don't have the time to really sit there, you know? But I do try to go back to them at least once a week. At least, actually, probably twice a week. I've made it a point during my lunch breaks at work to go on Pocket instead of browsing YouTube. I try to save my YouTube time now for before bed. So, but I was gonna say, and it looks like Readwise's website's not working. I don't believe in apps being one solution for everything. So you mentioned the later feature in Slack. Not for me. Like, I don't like the direction Discord has went in because I feel like they're trying to do too much and they're unfocused. And I'll say the same thing for Spotify. Stick to fucking music. Like, make a standalone podcast player if you want to. Stop shoving it down my throat. I don't care about concerts in my area. Give me an option to opt out of that information. I just want to listen to music when I open up Spotify. So I have kind of changed my tune on apps that do more than 1 to 2 or 3 core things, which is why I have in my dock, I've got an email client, I've got Notion Calendar. These two I'm using because I listen to non-copyright safe music for myself on streams. This is my to-do list, right? Yeah, do one thing and do it good. So that's my opinion. Simple Note, I really like it as a note-taking app. Apple Notes is great, but I want something for when I'm on Windows or I'm forever, like, I can't make up my mind on whether to stick to Android or iOS. So I got an operating system agnostic note-taking app, right? Notion, like, I use very basically compared to a lot of people. So I definitely don't get the most out of it that a lot of the others do. Zaramau says, so an app that when you save for read watch later, but it bothers you with a notification. Yes, Zaramau, that's the idea behind my read later app. I don't want tags. I just want to store something that I want to read later, and then it will remind you in a cadence that you set. If you want to be reminded weekly on Sundays about things you haven't read, great. If you want to be reminded 3 days after you saved something to read it, go for it. Like, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to encourage you to read the things that you say that you want to read, or you just get rid of them, right? Um. Okay, so we're talking about inspiration and Pinterest. Shook says Pinterest is my favorite for web design inspiration. Devin says Dribble is my go-to. Dribble, but I like Dribble, but Pinterest has a lot of Dribble posts, so there's a lot more to search through. That's interesting. I've never used Pinterest in my entire life. It has been out for ages. Pat was saying I hate Spotify. The free version is so bad, dude. Even the paid version isn't great anymore. It sucks. Like, I don't get ads, and that's the best part of it. Devin is saying Discord was hugely funded and is finally trying to find their identity and place back in the world. Unfortunately, that's resulting in a lot of bloat and seemingly unfocused roadmap. Ain't that the truth? I think I talked about it Thursday or yesterday, but Discords, even like, they put out their new mobile version, which is a sack of shit in my opinion to use. I forced myself to use it when it was still in beta because I knew they weren't going to change anything, and I still hate it. The fact that the themes on Discord like are not in sync. Mobile Discord has two dark themes that are not on desktop, and the only themes available on desktop are their original dark theme, which I think they have improved a little bit over time, but it's not contrasty enough for my liking. Their shitty light theme that like needs to be taken out back. Like I cannot stand it. And their gradient themes that like put me back in the 90s. Like I don't know. It's just Discord, if you're listening, please hire me to do your theming work. I will make it look so much better and everyone will be happy, I think. Just hire me in general. Like, let me be your project manager and I'll get you on course. I do have some project management experience. I'm not just saying that. Yeah, the bloat is real. And the fact that like I pay for Discord Nitro because I do like them as a company and I like the product. But goddamn, like I already pay for Nitro and it's like gift someone Nitro. It's shoving them wanting more money down my throat. Yeah, their rebrand, like everyone's got to grow. They're just not doing it in the right way, and I'm kind of at this point waiting for a Discord competitor to come in. Like, and that sucks because I really like Discord, and now like after all these years, I've been using Discord. Oh, it tells you, doesn't it? How long have you been a user? Yeah, I've been a Discord member since August 27th, 2016. I remember at the this is how ingrained World of Warcraft was in my life. I remember at the end of the Warlords of Draenor expansion, in World of Warcraft, this was years ago, one of our friends talking about Discord, it was still in beta at the time, and they were like, yeah, we should check it out, we should use it. And I kind of like put it off for a little bit because I was like, nah, fuck it, we're going to keep using Vent, Trillo, or Mumble. And yeah, Pato. And so I used it and I loved it, right? Like, I think it was really just a new thing and was great. And they've done a lot of good things, but just the bloat and lack of roadmap and focus. And, it happens to a lot of things. Ventrilo did have a little bit of a rebrand, but it's still not my cup of tea. Dude, I would love it. That's a huge, huge project for me to undertake, but that's something I definitely want to do, to be completely honest. Todd, I allowed it. Piece of shit is fine. I curse on here. That's my other thing. I like to bring people up and be respectful of everybody, but if I want to curse, I'm gonna curse on here. And I guess I should have said that as a warning 2 hours ago when I started streaming, but that's all right. Automod is hella soft, just like Discord. Folks, I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute break. I just want to get up and stretch my legs and get some more water, but I will be right back. All right, everyone, we're back. We are back. What's going on? Let me lower the music for you. All right. I know Todd's gone, but I appreciate him being here. Todd is an accessibility web developer legend. Been in the field for 20, 25 years, I think. Just retired recently. And now gets to do whatever he wants during his days. He's been playing some video games on stream and stuff, so I'm glad he's been hopping in here. All right, let's so I wanted to come back here and just figure out how much software I'm really going to put on here. And actually, I'll open up Raiden's site next to this. So this is an app called Exceladra that Nate uses, and I really like it for just like talking and typing on stream. But so like this was yesterday's notes when I was building out my now page. Let's just copy this over, and hello, what the fuck just happened? We're back. Okay. All right, so let's talk about what software I include, and I'm obviously going to use Braden's as an inspiration. I'm going to go see what other people do as well. Like Brad has one. I wonder if Brian Morrison. Where's Brian's site? Not Brain. We'll see if Brian's got. He does. Okay, cool. We'll come back here. So we're gonna include. What is going on? Okay. Arc, obviously. So let's just see. We're gonna go through his first and see what we use, right? So I use Notion instead. I don't know what lazy is. I'll add simple note. I use Todoist, right? So this is just me trying to see what others have. I am the kind of person that will typically add too much when it's unwarranted. Arc is my current browser of choice. Arc is built on Chromium, just like Edge. Oh, yeah, someone mentioned refactoring UI, and I just wanted to talk on that. I've been wanting to read it because Adam Wathan and Steve Sugar are brilliant, and I really want to read it. So Arc is my current browser, and Raycast is this pop-up that I keep typing in. So this lets me just do quick searches, so I can search Perplexity, just like that. Yeah, I want to buy the book. It's something that I've been looking at, that I've been wanting forever. I'd rather support them. I do appreciate you offering that, though. I'd rather support them, and I know they put a lot of work into it. I could also just Google through here. You can just find whatever you want, so it's really nice. But what's really cool is that I can find icons in here via integrations. It's really powerful. Alfred's another one that does this similar things. But when Raycast came out, I said, let me give this a shot because I joined the Mac Club again shortly before Raycast came out, and I never really dove into the things that Alfred offers, so. I use VS Code. I have used Figma. I'm not going to list it. I use Notion Calendar. Currently. One password I love, and I'll always swear by it. I'm going to put Brain FM in here as well, because I absolutely love Brain FM. I'm the same. I'll often find books and start reading them if I find value and enjoy it. Yeah, I'm the same way. I have a Kindle, and I love it. But if it's something that I'm going to reread and really find value in, I'll buy a hard copy. Yeah. Figma's fantastic. I never used Sketch. Because Figma was out by the time I joined this whole world and was looking to do it. Figma is something that I do want to improve my skills in. Just like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or the Affinity suite that I use. I use Affinity. Um, what the hell do they call their stuff? Designer, Publisher, and Photo. They're just an Adobe competitor. And what's great about Affinity is that it's a one-time purchase. It's not subscription based. Um, but with that caveat that when they release like they'll update the old versions, but when they do like an overhaul, you have to buy the new versions. But they'll typically run sales. They offered like discounts because I own the first versions, so can't recommend them enough. I use iTerm right now. I think Fig is another thing. My brain is done teching for the day. I'll catch you. Hey, thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate you hopping in here for so long. I'm not long here for myself. I'm probably gonna go till 8:30. And thanks for troubleshooting that issue before with me. We didn't do a lot of coding here, but some good conversations for sure. Have a good rest of your day. What is Eagle? Huh, that's cool. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. I think that's a good number. What else do I use that I would really want to add there? I mean, I like Spark a lot and want to support them. I use Set App, which is a great bundle of services. But I also want to add my streaming things. Like I use Streamlabs Desktop, right? Discord. All right, good. So I added 2 more, so that's even amount. And if I think of more, I'll add more. I think the fact that he caps it at 16 is nice, actually. So I'm at 14 now, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's add 2 more just for the sake of that. Spark, and I'll say the Affinity Suite. How's that? I used to do Photoshop design to HTML freelancing. Literally did nothing but slice PSDs and code them into HTML. Photoshop. Yeah, it's pretty wild what we used to do. I used to do Photoshop design slices for HTML emails. And man, that was a shit show. I hated doing it. Yeah, Photoshop and related skills aren't necessary for a developer. I think it's only a positive, though, in my opinion. I think it's a great positive to have. And again, someone like me who I am looking to be a full stack developer, but especially someone right now that I can't call myself full stack. I can only call myself front end. Having those additional skills, I don't think is anything to shy away from. Yeah, emails was rough. It was a really shitty platform, too. All right. I wonder what order he has these things in. I'm probably just going to go alphabetical, to be completely honest. Or, yeah. By the way, does anyone here know what Bring FM is? Or does anyone not know what it is? Because I have to rave about it if you don't. So, Brain FM, it sounds like a gimmick. Music scientifically proven to increase focus. I don't know if anyone's heard of binaural beats or anything, and this is kind of like an evolved version of that. I heard about this years ago on a podcast and tried it out, and I'm amazed at how well it works for me. Yeah, so binaural beats I've used, and they had like mixed results. And then I tried this and just fell in love. And they've continued iterating and developing their app and service and everything. So it's been really, really good. Yeah, you think it sounds like a gimmick until you use it. And it's like, holy shit. Yeah, lo-fi. I mean, lo-fi is great, right? Like, there's no shame against that. But sometimes when I feel like I need an extra boost, I use Brain FM, or if I really just need to hunker down and get stuff done. A friend of mine has ADD or ADHD, And he couldn't believe how productive he was after using it. And listen, at this rate, if it is um, real or not, fuck it. Like, if it works for me, it works for me. I'm waiting for the AI generated lo-fi streams. 100%. Lo-fi is so predictable that should definitely be a thing. I can focus better on task at hand while listening to those neural beats or whatever it's called. Yeah, so this kind of does a similar thing, but it's more pleasant to listen to. Like, binaural beats are still happening, and you can focus on that, right? Because part of the thing of binaural beats is focusing on that clashing of the sound waves that causes the beats or pulses in the sound. But there's actual music behind Brain FM. So it occurs, but there's lo-fi music, there is electronic music, there is nature sounds. Like, it's really, really interesting. I love it. I love it. And let me see real quick, actually. Wow, I am blanking right now. If you did want to check it out, this is me shamelessly plugging. This is my... Oh, let's not use that one. I'm going to give you a referral code to Brain FM because you get an extended free trial. So... yeah, shameless plug. I don't get anything. You just get an extended free trial for 30 days versus I think the normal one is a week. So give it a shot. If it works for you, great. If it's placebo effect for me, doesn't matter to me. It works. And let me know. I'm curious. I'm curious because everyone that I've introduced it to has found good results from it. So yeah. All right. Let's get these into order. I'll just do another thing. So we've got man, imagine there was just a nice way to put these in order. We've got 1Password, Affinity Suite, Arc. Y'all let me know if I'm fucking this up too. Is there an easy way? I guess I could just copy and paste it into AI, can't I? Three-day trial. They must have shortened it. Shit. And did the link that I give you increase it to 30 days? Damn, this is doing me dirty. ChatGPT, here we go. Actually, I think I'd do that just via here. Yeah, exactly. Good clue. Shit, that's wild. 3 days. It used to be like 7 or 14. Good call, Devin. Good call. All right, cool. So now I just want to go in. Where's my code? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I literally just opened it up. I wonder if that link shortener. Let me get it for you. I wonder if that link shortener removed it. So give me 1 second. I'll get that for you right now. All right, so now I have to go in and because talking with Sarah, I'm using Astro icons for these just because that's fine. Like I said, you try, whatever works. Um, it was expensive for me, and then again, I found the value in it. But I know not everyone can do that, and hell, I probably shouldn't be doing it. So because I'm using Astro Icon, and I'm using Astro Icon because SVGs were not playing nicely with Astro, and I think they're working on having the built-in ability to componentize SVGs. I don't think it's built in yet, and I hope it comes soon. The less third-party things I have to rely on, the better, in my opinion. Um, but so all you can see here is it's just the SVG stuff. Yeah. SVGs are something I've ignored for a long, long time. So figured what better time than now to start doing it. So all I'm just going to do is make a new file. And we'll make it 1Password. And then the nifty thing with Raycast, I am currently using icons from Font Awesome. So it's using a CDN, and that's just not ideal for user experience and performance. It's extra network usage. It's just more time to paint. So this is gonna give me a performance boost on my site, which is great. If you import an image to Figma, yes, exactly. Yeah, you can do that too. So if you look at my site right now, I'm using font awesome icons for the social icons and these external link icons, and even like on my homepage, I have the arrows that pop up here, and I have them down here as well. So yeah, and like it's fast, but I'm on gigabit Ethernet, so um I want to give everyone as good of an experience as possible. So with Raycast now, and there's things that server you could just go online and do it. You could import images to Figma and export it. You could do that with Affinity. But I want to get as close to inline SVGs as possible because it's just less work the computer has to do or the browser have to do. So I installed this integration earlier. It's using Iconify. You could just go to Iconify's website and grab this stuff as well. But for me, the less context switching and opening up a browser, the better for me, to be completely honest. So let's see what they have to offer in 1Password. Okay, so this is surprising to me that this is all we have. So I'm likely gonna go elsewhere for 1Passwords, but for now, I'm just gonna take it and we'll go from there. I am surprised it's not built into one of those. Very surprising. That's okay. Actually, I wonder if I spell out one, will anything else come back? I'm not really seeing it, so I'll just grab this one for now. And again, this is not a long-term solution. Oh, so that's what I want to do first. And again, I will be componentizing even these and mapping over it, but let's just get it out there. So right now, this div is all I need. And let's delete these other ones. So I need 15 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So if I go back to my site now, we should have 15. And I don't mind doing this because, again, it's how I want to work. Perfect. Okay, great. And then we have total of 16. Excellent. So then all I have to do now is I already have this icon imported from the Astro Icons plugin or integration, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to come down here. We have Arc. So now I'm going to come in here. And actually, Arc is probably going to be our second one, I think. Right? Arc is our third one. So we have 1. So this is 1Password. And then all I have to do is change this name from this to whatever our new file is called. Unable to locate. So we had this issue before. So I'm just going to restart the dev server. There it is. Perfect. So I'll update this to a proper one. But let's get it going. Let's get this done. And then I'll probably call stream after I get this done. Perfect. So they have old versions of their icons, but so I'm just gonna close the server for now, and we'll do that afterwards. Just see if it all works. Breen FM. Man, this is frustrating. Oh, shit, there it was. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go elsewhere for these SVGs, and that's fine. I wonder where Braden got his, that they all have the same style and everything. And maybe that had influenced which ones he used, right? I didn't want to open this. Icons. Pato, so long, my bro. Thank you for staying here for so long, and good luck in raid, dude. Interesting, there's no clean shot. I am shocked right now. Iconify, what are you doing here? Great Shadow Legends. Is it not one word? My man is going to raid in World of Warcraft. Alright, so there's nothing for that yet, so we'll have to come back. I'm saying it right now. I will never expect a sponsor from Raid Shadow Legends. I don't want to download the SVG. I just want the actual... I want the code behind it. I want the actual SVG shit. Did they? I just feel like they sponsor anyone and everyone, you know? Can I easily copy this? Or do I just have to view page source? Actually, that's probably easier. Oh, do they pay a lot? I mean, in that case, I was gonna preempt it with if they pay enough, I will. But that's pretty wild to me. Yeah, I will never ever play that game. There's no need for that. That's for damn sure. Money is money. That's exactly right. Man, it'd be great if... In that case. See how quick I am to change teams? Did I not just press... Is this not lead anywhere? Oh, it downloaded something. Okay. I just want an SVG. Why is that so difficult? All right, let's go back to my list. And I'm just going to create the blank files for now. Clean shot x.svg. I personally, so the only Discord I have right now, is for that attendees. I made like a that accountability server. Yeah, yeah, it was an idea because I didn't want to, I wanted to keep those vibes. It was, um, yeah, I don't know. Definitely don't have a community. I don't feel like I have a large enough community to warrant a Discord, but hey, I hope I get to that point. Raycast, simple note. I'm no stranger to managing Discords, that's for certain. Growing by the day. Hey, I'm absolutely an accountability server for that. Yes. Um, those of us that attended just wanted to like keep in touch, and I wanted to keep each other on top of it. Yeah, I'm in too many Discords as it is. I go through like a purge every 6 months. Especially for like technologies and tools. Like I'll join the server and then stay in it just in case, but it's easy not to always rejoin, right? Um, so yeah, I've been trying to keep it to a minimum, especially because like as things eat up your attention, it's just so much harder to get things done through the day. Um, oh, sorry. So Devon Zara, there is a conference called that. Literally that conference. Um, so I attended it this January. A few others that were in chat have attended it. And so I have a Discord for the attendees that I met there and everything, to just stay in touch with each other and keep accountable because Twitter, you'll miss stuff. The algorithm on Twitter sucks. Like the following feed doesn't give me everyone. I miss people's tweets all the time. I'm like, what the fuck? Like yesterday I was on Discord all day and I just still miss tweets from people. And that's frustrating because I have a lot of I'm fortunate. I have a lot of people supporting me right now, whether they're sharing what I'm posting. I can't believe the amount of impressions my stuff made. But yeah, the algorithm is miserable. Like, just give me the people I'm following and an actual chronological feed, and that's it. I'm pretty sure that's what Blue Sky does by default, and it's really nice. But people are still not on Blue Sky, so. Did I close Acceladra? Oh, because I'm done. Okay, good. So I'm just gonna make this back to my normal size real quick. And I just need to make a commit because I haven't. I've told LinkedIn and I'm not interested. Yeah, LinkedIn is. I was talking to Taylor Dessian about this. I don't. It's like a necessary evil, LinkedIn and Twitter is to that point as well. But I've curated my Twitter feed to the point now where it's just like a lot of good people and we don't have the drama. Um, and the toxicity that Twitter very much can be and is in a lot of places, right? So, but LinkedIn, it's out of sheer necessity. I wouldn't be on it if I didn't need to be for job and networking and things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. All right, what do we got here? We have an actual Discord one. Hell yeah. What's the term in having the feature to say you're not interested? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to find our term here. How about just a terminal for now? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, Notion Calendar is going to be a tricky one. Yeah, they're definitely not going to have that yet. I'll go find it. This is my first time using this tool, by the way, and using Iconify, and it seems like it's really good for aggregating from a lot of sources, but it also just looks like I'm going to need to go and find exactly what I'm looking for in a lot of cases, and that's fine. Like, I'm not upset about that. So it's not going to look pretty yet, but it'll be done. And that's okay. It just really surprises me what they are and are not finding. That's okay. The idea of LinkedIn is fine, but I want to see relevant posts, not a feed of IBM congratulating someone. Yep, exactly right. No, LinkedIn's awful. And then, like, again, I'll see something from 3 weeks ago that I didn't see when it was new, and I'm like, why? Like, why am I missing this? I want to support the people that are supporting me, you know? Dude, I'm no stranger to writing books. You're fine. Dude, this is fucking ridiculous. Dude, I know there's plenty of things for this, so I'm not too worried. All right, look, we have plenty of VS Code ones. Which one do we want? I'm not that mean. Okay, so now we have all our SVGs loaded. Let's go back to our users page. And let's start with the server. Okay, so now here comes the fun part of going through and changing all these. So, I'm no stranger to love. Adagio, hello. Hello, hello. How are you? Thanks for jumping in. You know the rules, and so do I. So we got one. Okay, let's go back to my list. Where are we? One password. Now let's actually. Affinity followed by arc, followed by glad to hear it. Hi, good. I'm Devin. God, I'm all for the dad jokes and shitty puns. This I'm gonna leave as arc because we don't have them for clean shot X. Discord. Raycast. Simple notes. Spark. Spotify. Alright, we're almost done. Not that I don't want to stay on longer, but I stayed up way too late last night. Everyone had me hype as hell from last night's stream. All right, and it is working as intended. It just has to be beautified. A shitty pun is a shitty pun no matter what. All right, excellent. So this is good. This is good. So Adagio, I know you just joined. I'm going to be closing out the stream in a few minutes here, but I just wanted to tell you what I was working on tonight. Arcade Jacob, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Damn, I think now I'm up to what's the first thing? I think a community, and I think I also hit affiliate today too with all these follows. I appreciate it so much. So last night we made this now page, right? You were here for this last night. And then I just added this in today, the last update line, because I thought that was important. But now I'm working on a uses page. And so I just laid this out in text. I think I'm going to make the layout. We're in here learning fake Latin. That's exactly damn right. Exactly damn right. Are you really a web developer if you don't know lorem ipsum? I feel like learning the lines of lorem ipsum for a web developer is like what learning X amount of digits of pi is for a math major. But so now I'm up to the point where I am working on these software icons and cards, and it's not perfect yet because I just use one source for the icons, and I'm not finding nearly all of them. So, oh, weird that this happened there. I wonder what that's about. Yeah, so if you don't have the first paragraph memorized, you're still using WordPress. I definitely don't even have it memorized. That's okay though. Yeah, so this is going to be expanding. Let me just show Braden's site where I got the inspiration from. So Braden has a toolbox list where he has all of these, and I liked the idea, and I wanted to put it on my same uses page as my hardware. So that's what I was working on tonight. Braden's obviously is much more polished and finished than mine is, but that's okay. We'll get there pretty quickly. Now it's just a matter of finalizing the styles that I want for it, and I have some ideas, and getting actual logos, right? I want everything to have a pretty, I wonder where he got his, because they all have the same look, right? I mean, first of all, just about all of them but Notion and Pixel Snap are on, and like most of them are on the same background. I wonder if he made it. Contrary to popular belief, lorem ipsum is not simply random text. It has roots in pieces of classical Latin literature. Okay, yeah, I thought it was like this. This is definitely Latin. Yeah, so I'm going to be making mine looking a bit nicer. Most of my site is pretty flat, and again, this is like the refinement I keep talking about on my website. Where, if we go back home, I like this flat design, I do. But as I'm building my site, I'm finding myself wanting a little bit more out of it. So for things like this, like it's fine. Like, there's a flat wallpaper here, and this follows the same look as my projects page. So the other site is Braden Coyer. I'll share the link here for you. Braden's a web developer, as is his brother. Braden and I met at that conference. He's got a very nicely polished website. The one thing I'm not a fan of, and I told him this, was having a menu button or a hamburger menu on larger screens. But, I also understand it. It's got a certain look to it, right? But the fact that it's also on the opposite side of the screen, I'm not a fan of. I'm on a 27-inch 4K display. I don't know. But, yeah, the rest of it is really just nice looking and refined. He's got this nice pattern and everything. Braden's a great developer. Where else? Where was I going? Here, I'll even grab his follow if you guys are interested in follow. If you all are interested in following him on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. That bothers me. I'm not gonna lie. And like I said, I told him that. I'm a firm believer in someone else's site that I had this today too, but on my site, I said, All right. I sorry against any lefties in the chat, but most of us are right-handed, so let's put it on the right. You know. And I even like kind of want to move this down here to be. I have so many different ideas for my site, but again, it's about like implementing what's more important, right? Is messing with my mobile menu that important? Errors in the console and scroll bar in the nav. Yeah, so I had the scroll bar in the nav previously as well. I'm not having it now. I wonder if it depends on your screen size. Because I have had that previously, and I told them about it. Um, Minified React error. Interesting. Yeah, did say there's some bugs and stuff that he wants to squash out, but there's no denying it's a really good looking site. Um, and a really good dude, really good dude. This is I think the first thing I told him. My website's content is all centered, but the text is left aligned, so it's nice ugly. So that's another thing. The centering of text versus left aligned, and that's something that I'm working on now too. Again, on my older thing, everything is left aligned, and I do very much like the left align look, right? But then on my newer pages, like I have the hero centered because I wanted to break it up, and then the content below is left aligned. And then even in conference, like I said, let me mess with that a little bit more. So it's exploring and it's evolving, right? And now we're on my uses page, where I still kept that centered look because I copied and pasted from another page. So yeah, but yeah, that gradient's really nice. I want to do something to make these look nicer. Obviously, I'm going to add some interactability and, make these links along with this. Actually, maybe I'll just make this in itself a link. I don't know. I have to play with it. But at the very least, we got the basic bit of it down. It is responsive and goes up to a grid of 4x4, which I think is a good happy medium, right? So we'll keep working on this, though. We had a lot of good discussions tonight, so I'm not too upset about this. So maybe tomorrow, then, I'll keep working on this. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, tomorrow I was planning on... I need to create a social share card for my site. I have one for my old site, but I'm just going to completely redo it. So I want to spend some time in Affinity Designer doing that. But I'd like to get this finished. So maybe tomorrow we'll keep working on this. And if we finish this early, then we will work in Affinity. You get to see how bad I am at it. Again, it's just the amount of time I don't spend in those programs doing too much that every time I jump back into it, it's like having to somewhat relearn where things are and how to do certain things. But I know that I can develop things and create things just for that. So that's going to be good because I fully believe that a share image or an OG image is called. I think it definitely helps your URLs stand out when link previews are active. So. That'll be tomorrow, and then depending on what we finish, we'll follow up on Monday. But I also will be doing more work over the weekend, so that'll be tomorrow. Thursday is game night. I am going to be playing Gran Turismo 7, and I'm looking forward to it. I need like a nice break. I didn't get to game at all Sunday. I actually ended up working when I shouldn't have. Thursdays and Sundays are my planned days off, and I did not abide by that on Sunday, so. That wasn't great, but we'll get there. I have to be more strict to myself, right? So, yeah. This is gonna be fun to polish up and do well. And tomorrow I'll probably just source the actual logos, so no one has to watch me googling and finding things. And if I find someone. Like that person's site we were on last night, Nelson, that designer, they make really good looking logos. But if I can find all the logos in a similar style, I'd rather go for that. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, Googling is 90% of the job. Doesn't mean that everyone wants to watch me do it though, right? And I know I have other resources for logos, and a lot of sites now and services are providing them. Actually, I downloaded that kit from Clean clean shot X, right? Let's see what's in it. It's got to be a logo in here, right? Yes, there is. So in this case, I'm gonna transform it to an SVG, but there it is. So again, like if the inline SVG here isn't gonna work in some of them, that's fine. I'll go ahead and just make the component of it, you know, a reference to the image. I give zero shits. I just want it to look good, so, and offer any performance gains I can. So this is going to be pushed live because I'm not working on a branch right now. If you want to go and make fun of me, you can. You know the URL already. But yeah, that was my thought on Braden's site. Let's just go to Toolbox. Well, it looks like this logo has been used elsewhere, so it likely is coming from somewhere. The hell was I trying to do here? There we go. Yeah, this looks like it straight came from an app store. It just looks different because of the gradient that's overlaying it, looks like, right? But that's really cool. Yeah, Braden does a great job. This VS Code one, though, definitely isn't. Like, on my Mac, it is white now, which is unfortunate. I hate the VS Code icon. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. Sorry. Yeah, dude, the new one is fucking hideous. I'm sorry. Like, I know they wanted to match the Mac OS. You know, they made everything squircles. But they could have done it better. You originally wanted to do graphic design. What made you change your mind? Alright, guess I'll just open the inspect tools. You feel like you had more potential? I totally get that. I don't know if I was talking about it last night or earlier, but yeah, like wanting to vet out your potential and also do something in your day-to-day life for your job that brings you more fulfillment and joy. There's nothing wrong with it. That's why I'm down the path that I am now, you know. That's not the one I wanted. Ryan, you're an idiot. Yeah, so I'm glad that you found something that you feel like you're. Well, let me ask you: do you feel like you're working to your potential now, or do you feel like there's more that you can give? It's a blue ribbon with a transparent background on Windows, so it matches whatever the taskbar. Blue ribbon with a transparent. Right. So that makes sense on Windows. For us, it's got this ugly white background. If it wasn't white, it'd be another story, right? Like, honestly. Let's just go to Notion's website. Part of the reason I got a laptop and that I didn't have to get. Why does it take me? I just don't remember if I logged in home. God damn it, Notion. Chill. Alright, I guess I'll go fuck myself. I have a gaming PC. I've built PCs, several PCs in the past, and I wanted like a separation of concerns, and that's why I bought a laptop. And I said, well, I guess if I'm going into this, 90% of people use Macs, I'm sure. So let's get used to a Mac again. I had not used I used a Mac when I went to college originally because I thought it was the thing that every musician needed until I learned later in life that, music, like, I definitely didn't need a Mac as a education and performance major. Other musicians, sure. My Mac is 2015, didn't have a discrete GPU. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Um yeah, I had a 2009 unibody MacBook Pro. Was I think the first generation they did the unibody design, and uh my brother and I, it was like, and this was a lot of fucking money. Like they weren't inexpensive back then either. But we opted out of a graduation party and just went with that too. Mac fanboy here. Never had any problem developing in it. I have no qualms with it, and they make fantastic laptops, and especially now with their own silicon, it is even better. If I were to get a Windows laptop, I would look at the Dell XPS or the Surface laptop. I don't Razer makes really attractive looking laptops, but I don't trust Razer enough to do anything like keep it going or actually support it. I know they've been making those machines for a while. I also love the aspect ratio on the Surface line. I don't want us, but I want specifically the Surface laptop. So that's the route I would go. But I'm happy with my Mac. And I know some things are easier than not in it, so that's why I still have. That's why I'm going down this route. I am gonna be selling this M1 16-inch to my brother, um, and with that, I'm gonna be buying the 14-inch M3 Pro. I think if I keep up the streaming and stuff, I might opt into the go from 16 gigs of RAM to 32 gigs. Obviously, like I'm getting notifications while streaming that it's hurting. And swap memory is fine, but whatever. My issue with Windows on laptops is battery life. Yes, exactly right. And Windows still can't do standby correctly. It fucking sucks. Like, I'll pull my work laptop out of my backpack, and like, you shut it and it should just go to sleep. But it just fucking doesn't sometimes. And I'll get home and my laptop is, like, hot enough to fry an egg on. I'm like, why is this a problem? And it's really upsetting. I really like that Macs also. They have the 16 by 10 aspect ratio. I think Surface Books are 2 by 3. Is that right? That sounds like too small. But they are a more square aspect ratio, which for laptop work, I really like the additional height as well. I have dual boot on a laptop with Linux. Yeah, I miss the days of being able to dual boot Windows, honestly, on my Mac. That would be fucking clutch. I know some sites are implementing this right click to get their logo. It's not working. It's better with two separate SSDs. Yeah, 100%. 100% the way. My biggest issue with Apple is the company's approach to being more open. Yeah. Yeah. It's a real fucking bummer. I'm going to use the right tool for the trade, so to speak. But it sucks supporting that side of things. Like, it sucks that they are being forced into um, it sucks that Apple is being forced into making these changes, like USB-C on the iPhone, thanks to the European Union. Um, non-competes, or not non-competes, but like the monopoly thing with the App Store and shit like that, and side-loading apps. Repairability is a huge thing. I hate not being able to upgrade RAM or the SSD in my laptop. It's fucking bullshit, in my opinion. Especially as those are two of the easiest things you can do. They charge an exorbitant amount for those upgrades, and it's absolutely atrocious. It's better with two separate SSDs. I'm pretty sure my brother has that going on right now. I've fucked with Linux in the past too, and I did it on a separate SSD, which was really nice. Um, when Max had the, what did they call it? Boot Camp? Yeah, I think it was called Boot Camp, was the feature where you could um, install another OS on the same SSD. It was nice. If they were more open and embrace repairability, I'd have multiple Macs by now. The resistance makes me hate. Yeah, I do. I get it. It's I get it, but I'm still gonna buy it, which sucks. I hate taking a stance on something and then still doing it, even though I hate it. Yeah, I mean, if only America wasn't so obsessed with iMessage and just used other messaging platforms, right? Like most of the world uses WhatsApp. I would be a-okay with using Signal, or like I'm on Discord already every day. You know, it would be really nice though to be able to use messages. And oh, that was the other thing. Why am I blanking on the text messaging? It's not RSC, but it's RCS messaging. Um, the fact that Apple is so unwilling to change to it because it's going to open up iMessage like utilities and give a better experience texting people that are not on iPhones. Like it's such a toxic stance to take, I think. You hate to see it. Yeah, I these days actually, it's funny you say that. So Facebook Messenger, I've heard is pretty popular, with a lot of people. I refuse to give like for years now. I've refused to give Facebook Messenger my phone number. Um, I still only have a Facebook account because I use the marketplace for selling and buying things. What was I gonna say? Discord I use most of my day actually. I feel like I should replace messages on my phone dock with Discord. Um, I think the only people I use messages with right now are my parents, my ex-wife, like, and like the occasional part, like my boss, because I'm under boomers at work. Um, yeah, the messaging ecosystem is so fragmented, and getting anyone onto a new platform is really difficult. So I remember when Google Allo came out, I loved the idea of it, and none of our friends would download it. So, like, all of our iOS friends were like, "Why the fuck am I going to download another app?" Because you want a better messaging experience. It's like it's only shitty because Apple continues to not provide a better experience outside of their ecosystem. Yeah, requiring phone numbers sucks. That's actually why someone mentioned opening up chat on Twitch. I didn't realize that my settings were set up in a way that required first time chatters to have a verified phone number. That's really shitty. I don't like that. Yeah, WhatsApp, I don't like using it for that reason either. And WhatsApp is owned by Meta, so I really don't want to use WhatsApp, to be completely honest. Yeah, yeah, it's real unfortunate. Telegram I've used, Signal I like best, honestly, of those alternatives. Um, but right now, I actually only use Signal for when my with my brother, and we use it because of the discords we're in. Like every time we sit down to develop or study or whatever, um, someone just happens to message us on Discord, and we would use Discord just to communicate with each other. But so now we just have Signal, and like anyone on Signal with my phone number could reach out to me on there, but no one uses it, right? So we just have that as like our private communication. Because yeah, we could just use our DMs at Discord, but Discord's a real pain in the ass because like, what if I want to mute everything but this one conversation with someone? Like you can't do that easily. Um, I I would love to be able to just like pause notifications on Discord for X amount of time, like across the board. Is your bro switching industries or he's already working in dev? So my brother is, I guess, technically has swapped industries. He was working. What was his job? He was working for a freight company, a logistics company, and he was like an account assistant. And he was there for like 4 years, and he bounced around the ideas. He like started with I think he started with back end web development and then like went to front end and then went back to back end and then went to front end and then said, I'm gonna look into IT. And he got a job relatively quickly at a local Minuteman Press, which I know is like a franchise nationwide. At least I think I know they're franchised and I think they're quite large. They've been around for years. Um, Yeah, yeah, it is nice. It's like really good for him. Like he took a side grade in pay. I think he like made a little bit more, but it's really just the opportunity, right? Like I said the other day, I'm making $70,000 a year right now, which is not a small amount. It's not a lot in today's world either. What is he afraid of getting shipped off? Oh, Devin. Yes, absolutely. Well, my parents had twins. I mean, one of us was gonna get shipped off, you know. Um, yeah. So me making 70 grand a year right now, like, and with everything going on in my life that I talked about earlier, I'm at this point where I just need to like get my shit under me again, and I don't want to take too much of a pay cut. I'm okay with taking a slight pay cut, but like my debts are where they're at right now, and they'll be going away. But I need to work through it, and I need that money to go through it. So if I take like a $5,000 to $7,000 pay cut, that's fine. Realistically, in the U.S., at least in New York, I don't anticipate junior web positions offering less than 65, and I could very well be wrong. But that's at least based on the job postings I've seen on LinkedIn and stuff. But I'm still applying to anything and everything, honestly. Um, yeah, yeah, exactly right. And that's not me being like, oh, I demand this amount of money or I deserve this amount of money. It's just me being real with where I'm at and what I've been making. Like, so when I started in my current industry, in 2020, they hired me in at 50 grand. Within a year and a half, I was making 60 grand after a promotion. And then I left there and went to another company and started making 69 grand, because they were willing to give me the money. I only left the company that I was at because they were not willing to give me a pay raise. And I said, well, hey, like, I know you've already given me a lot, but I'm doing more work than the guy who's been here for 20 years. I think I deserve something. And they were unwilling to do anything. So I said, all right, I'll see you later. Um, and then I went to that other new company for 10 months, and it was really bad there. It was not a good working environment. I didn't have the support I needed. While I was grateful that I had the pay increase and that they took a chance on me because I was relatively for the position um, inexperienced, but I had someone that they really trusted put in a good word for me, which helped, right? And this is like the networking thing, right? It's all of who you know for the most part, and especially in today's job market, that's going to help you the most. But I was only there for 10 months, and I was responsible for doing the work for the client that brought in 75% of their revenue a year. And I repeatedly said, hey, I need someone to take on these menial tasks. I need someone to take on these like repetitive but mandatory purchase orders, and they just wouldn't give me anyone. So I left, and then I went back to the company I was working at previously, and it makes me laugh because they hired me at just over 70, just over 70K, and I was like, if you just gave me the raise I was looking for previously, you wouldn't have went through a shitty 10 months without me, because they lost a lot of people. They didn't lose just me. They lost a lot of people, and that came from a lot of reasons. Um, SWEs around here do 60K. That's at pretty low cost of living. Not many other jobs will get you that much around here. Devin, if you don't mind sharing, whereabouts are you? I'm just curious. And I'm also aware, like for me, West Virginia. That's right. That's right. Yeah, like that seems. I want to say that seems fair. Like not knowing much about West Virginia, I can only compare it to New York and Long Island. And New York City and Long Island are, I think, like, they've got to be up there in the top 5 or 10 for most expensive places to live, I would imagine. It's really unfortunate that corporations here on the island don't pay what they should for living. I think there was a study done that shows anyone looking to live on the, and I mean, this is old. Anyone looking to live on the island would need to make at least 120K a year by themselves. That's just wild to me. That's just wild to me. Combined, the fact that my ex-wife and I are struggling at a combined income of like 145, I think, 160, something like that. She has a side job. 42K in your country for a senior. Yeah, things are way different outside of the U.S. That much I know for sure. Yeah, imagine making that much by yourself. That's what I mean. Like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Long Island sucks. I hate it here. But California's terrible too. I know that. And that's why you saw so many people moving away during the pandemic from Silicon Valley. They were like, "Hey, I'm gonna make a California money and live in fucking wherever." I'm in Texas. You could go to Texas. You go Salt Lake City, Utah. I think is like a slight tech hub, which is interesting. It's really interesting. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what the future brings for me. Like I said, I'm applying to anything and everything, even if I don't feel like I qualify for it. As said, I don't think my projects are there, but I had to start applying. Um, what are we doing wrong in life? Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I didn't get a college degree. You did. That's a really good question. Um, what was I gonna say? I don't know, but we'll all get there in due time. Yeah, and you're not even using your degree. That's the case of a lot of people in life. The case of a lot of people. Um, oh, I was saying about not feeling ready to start applying. Um, I want like a next JS project that's like sizable. I want something. I want to learn MySQL. Like that's on my short list of things to learn, so I can start working with databases. Working with APIs is something that I have a little bit of experience of, but I want to get better with. And so none of my projects right now show any of that, which is why I can understand maybe someone being hesitant to take a chance on me, right? I do think that I'm pretty well versed, at least in things going on in the industry. Um, I can talk surface level on I think a good amount of things. Actually, Brian Morrison said that he said something along the lines of like, I know you don't have a job and you're a junior, but like you can hang, like you can talk, and that meant a lot to me. I don't know if it's just because I expose myself to a lot of things and I read up on things that maybe I don't know, but I think it's always worth if you're interested in something, go into it, learn more, read into it. Even if you don't really understand it at first, there's a lot of things that I've read that I didn't really understand, and then down the road, I'm working on something that says, "Oh, wait a minute! I remember I read something on this, and it can help me out." For the first job, if you can be picky, yeah, finding a great first team that supports you, working in an environment where you can also grow is what you should look for. So that's the tough thing, right? I want to be picky and I want to find a place that's actually going to support me and provide proper mentorship. At the same time, getting your first job is from what I hear, the biggest hurdle in my career. Obviously, like if I don't continue learning and I don't apply myself, like that's on me. But in terms of outside factors, getting your foot in the door and getting started is it because I know and I've heard again that I'm gonna learn a shit ton in my first 6 months on the job. I'm gonna learn a shit ton on my first year on the job. I think part of the problem is that, and I'm this is probably the last thing I talk about before I head off, but I think part of the problem is that companies are not willing to properly invest in junior devs, and because junior devs they are an investment. Like they're taking away from the company, they're taking away time and money, um, and then they complain that junior devs go and get another job after they put in their 1 or 2 years, and in my mind, like, okay, well, give them a reason to stick around. If you're going to hire a junior dev at under market wage and then not give them a raise after they've put in their time and they can go somewhere else and get a 10 to 20K raise, why the fuck are they not going to do that? They might want to stay with the company. It might be a great company you get to work for, but if they're not getting, it's like knowing your worth and also putting your time to get what you deserve, right? You know, again, there's nothing wrong with money being a motivator, and I'm motivated by money. I'm motivated by thankfully enjoying this kind of work. Yeah, no reason to stick around. Bye bye. Right. So I kind of threw out a suggestion of like, and I forget where I was talking about this, and this might be a hot take, or this might not. You know, some people might think otherwise on this. Um, give a contract to a junior dev. Say, just start with a 3-year contract. After your 2 years, and let's just talk round numbers. You're gonna start at 60 grand a year. After 3 years, your salary will be bumped up to 75 or 80. Okay, cool. The junior could say, hey, they're gonna give me a bump and raise, and at least for that, even that 3rd year, I'll be making more money. Maybe I could go get more elsewhere. Maybe you go find a job for 80K versus 75, but you're in this code base. You know the people, you know the everything, and you're going to continue learning. Oh, you want to add on 2 more years? Okay, we'll increase your pay to 85 to 90K, 95, whatever the going rate is. I think if they worked with them and give them an incentive, 5 years in an industry and getting paid properly for it is fucking awesome. Instead of just, nickel and diming every employee. And then it costs more money in the end to keep rehiring people. But that's why I think companies are just not looking to hire juniors, because they cost more than they feel like they're worth. But we see a lot of job postings now where it says entry level and they want 2 to 4 years experience. That's not fucking entry level. Entry level, in my opinion, is 0 to 1 years. After that, your early career. Early career should be 1 to 2 years. Then you have this weird area like 2 to 3 years, not really mid-level. You're not having a clear vision on how you can grow within a company financially and as a dev should be a must. Sadly, not many implement that. Yeah, it sucks to say. I think part of it comes from being burned by companies for so long. My work history, I worked at a supermarket. I worked at a mall and customer service. I was the assistant manager at a music store. Then I managed a different music store. In those 2 music stores, I was never given I don't think I was really given proper pay. The assistant one, were paying me peanuts, and I was doing the work of the manager. And I love the manager. Like, the manager and I were great friends. And no shame about him. It was all the owners doing. And then when I managed a different music store, it was a really good experience. And I was in the musical world, and I was teaching, and I was performing, and it was great. But I was getting paid $14 an hour to manage a business. Like, think about that. $14, 28 grand a year to manage someone's business. I was handling the marketing, I was handling the inventory management, I was handling customer service and selling, and I would jump into lessons and teach when we were short a teacher or whatever. Like, man, that's ridiculous to me. And then from there, I worked at I was a customer support representative for a company that built websites and did social media marketing for restaurants. That was the most I had gotten paid ever at that time. I forget what it was, maybe $16 an hour, 15. No, that I think was $14 to $15 an hour, but it was more than the old place. And then I worked as a customer service rep at an environmental company. They did sewage pumping and shit like that. And then I made $17 an hour. So we're talking 34 grand a year. And that was the last job I got before I got into procurement and supply chain. So you're talking, I went from 34 grand a year to 50 grand a year. It's pretty wild. And none of those places I was at ever looked to and even the current place I'm at, um, never looked to help someone grow, and they never looked to take care of people. Sewage pumping and shit like that. Yeah. They like would pump out cesspools and restaurant grease traps, and luckily I didn't do any of that. I was sitting in an office. But none of the companies I've worked at ever looked to do that because, you're a number to them and you're replaceable and they'll just find someone else. And not to say that a lot of the jobs I held were skilled positions, right? I mean, I think the managerial ones, I wouldn't say I was super replaceable, especially, I mean, at either place, realistically. Um, I don't know. It just amazes me. Places' lack of want to invest in their workers. It's a really sad shape of affairs, but that's the country. Yeah, we're just a number. And that's still the case in the tech industry. That's the case in most industries. So if you find that company that doesn't treat you like a fucking number, go for it. I would love to be picky with my first job. I just can't. The only thing I'm going to be picky on is pay. Pay should match the responsibility, which is a rare case, 1,000%. Exactly right, Devin. Exactly. Yeah, Zara, I feel like I think time personally invested in the company. If you're there for 15 years, you okay, yeah, you deserve some extra compensation for that. But if you're not doing the work of someone that's been there for 2 years, maybe you don't, or maybe that other person deserves to be brought up to a closer salary. I was just actually at this current company. I was hired in under one title, especially as a supervisor or manager as well. Exactly, yeah. At this current company, I was hired in as a buyer. The day that I started working, and I'm sorry, as a buyer, I was supposed to report to this one manager up at, there's 2 locations on the island, up at location 1. The day of, I got a call from HR at 5 in the morning. I started work at 7. So I called her at like 6:15 when I was in the car. And she goes, "Oh, no, you're going to be working under so-and-so at location 2." And I said, "Oh, that's weird." Because he's in a team that works with subcontract administrators. Subcontract administrators, or SCAs, often get paid way more. And so I said, "Okay, great. Maybe they're changing things." No, I was on paper still a buyer. I was making, and still am making, a buyer salary. So I said, "Okay, that's fine. Maybe they just want to see that I can handle the work, and I'll talk to them later about a raise or a title change." I worked and I worked and I slaved away and I was stressed away and I was getting calls and text messages from the VP, the GM, the regional manager. I am not getting paid enough to be dealing with those people. Those people should go down the hierarchy, down the managerial chain to get to me. Mind you, 70 grand a year dealing with these executives. I brought in the lead time of these components we needed from 4 years to 1.5-ish, depending on everything. Think about that. 4 years, I'm saving you that much money because you're not having to pay the year-on-year increases. AMD has or Xilinx makes processors used in a lot of the aerospace defense industry, and they have a gross increase year over year. So I saved them with these contracts. I did all this work, and I wasn't alone. I wasn't the only reason that they did this, but I was a big, big, big proponent of it. And then they removed me from the team. They moved me to a different manager. I'm handling a completely different commodity now. Yeah. Yeah. So part of my job is negotiating, right? I get a list of items I need to go buy. I go to sources A, B, and C, and I will then negotiate with each of them trying to get the best price possible. I do keep a track of every dollar I save this company because I'll get the budget price, and then I'll get the quota price, and I'll get the price that I negotiate them down to. And since I started tracking this at my previous job, so that was 2021 to 22. No, 2022. Um, yeah, that's a resume metric for sure. I saved my salary usually by June, and then for the last 2 years, I've saved my salary in contract savings by June, and then it just goes up from there. So I'm saving them at least $70,000 a year in half a year's worth of work, and even less than that because I started, like, yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous. And then they just did me over like that. So, well, I don't have any inspiration to keep working hard because I keep getting fucked over. Um, I will say it was tough for me to start posting on LinkedIn for web development stuff. And Taylor Destine's talk at that conference inspired me to finally do so. But I was always worried, and actually, someone else in my industry looking, I mentioned him yesterday, Chris. Um, he mentioned the same thing, like worried about repercussions. Legally, I don't think they could actually do anything, but you never know what bullshit they might pull. I removed connections with my direct managers. I'm still connected with my coworkers, people on the same level. And if they want to say anything, they can. But listen, I've got to look out for me. I'm not happy. I'm not making the money I want to be making, and it is what it is, right? Companies want to show you loyalty, but they have no loyalty to you. That's the status quo, and it's not going to change. Yep. Just got to play the game. Exactly right. Exactly right. So, like, that goes back to juniors, leaving after a year or two. You put in your fucking time. You go somewhere else that's going to pay you more money. It's a fucking stupid way of doing things. But that's the game, and we have to play it. And that's why I've bounced jobs since 2020. Even before that. I had a job for a year from January 2019 to March 2020. Then I had that job March 2020 to, I don't know, maybe March 2023. And then I had that other job March 2023 to January 2020. No, I'm fucked up. In either case, I haven't been at a job for more than 2 years in a while. Yeah, so I mean, in the interviews, I only talk about or plan on talking about my enthusiasm, right? Like, and hopefully it shows in my content creation and my, everywhere that I'm enthusiastic about the industry. Like, the money, I know it's going to be there, so I don't even have to stress about that. But it's more of enjoying what I do day to day that I want to do. Work from home would be a great plus down the road. That'd be massive. I'm willing to fucking trek into New York City every day for now. It is what it is. Yeah, so it's been 7.5 years at the same job for no real reason other than comfort. Yep. Yeah, comfort's a bad thing. It's a bad place to be in. A lot of people have been there. I have a friend that's there. Emily, I know you were there, and I told you that, but that's okay. We all have to learn our own ways. Yeah, it sucks. It is. But you know what? That's okay. We're all trying to. If you're not trying to better yourself, I hope you get on the path of trying to better yourself, whether it's finding a new job, learning a new skill to find a new job, or just doing things in your downtime that are going to make you happy. It was a shitty job, and I enjoyed getting my hands dirty, but I won't say I'm sad to be flushing your part. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In those cases, like authenticity, yeah, we could keep going about the whole job interviewing and stuff. Authenticity isn't really valued, though, and that's a real shame. You kind of have to just fucking say what they want to hear, and I hate that. As you can see, I think anyone that's still here, I'm pretty fucking authentic. So yeah, but with that, I'm going to go eat and hang out with my dog and go to bed earlier tonight than I did last night. This again went on for longer than I anticipated, but I thank everyone for hanging out the entire time. It's been great. And tomorrow we continue working on my use pages, maybe get some design work in Affinity Designer. And then Thursday we have a game stream. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out the entire time. I appreciate it. And until next time.